Come on in, like the live, share the live, y'all. Let's talk about it. Why do so many melanated immigrants slash immigrants hope that Black Americans would be next? Why did they believe we could be deported? Black Americans stand with ICE, Black Americans first. This is what we're going to talk about today. Good morning, everyone. Come on in, like the live, share the live, and let's talk about it. And we can't forget the other fear mongers, the older Black Americans that fell for this as well. Because after they get them, then then we gonna be next. I don't understand how anyone could believe some bullshit like that. You know. Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody is having a great day. Hope everyone is having a great day. Come on in, like the live, share the live, and we are going to talk about this thing that these people have. You're next. You're next. You're next. You're next. Hey, where you
Yo,
from? Where you from? What's your ethnicity?
I'm an indigenous American from southern states of Alabama.
Oh, okay. What's your thoughts on the prompt?
Let me see if I can read it. I just glanced and popped up. It says, "You're next." Why there's so many melanated
Now,
immigrants? Did I see that right? Because I
yeah,
can't barely see it.
yeah, that's what it say. Say you're next. Why there's so many melanated
All
immigrants slash
right.
immigrants hope that Black Americans would be next? Why did they believe we could be deported? Black Americans stand with ICE. Black Americans first.
Man, so I came on the right panel because I'm with ICE. I stand with them. I might join them. And yeah, they mad because everybody wants everything and everybody, every nation has been against us all this time. This whole thing that we going through is the great awakening of my people, man. And we realize that we in this by ourselves. So
That's
all
a
the
fact.
ones who ain't us, they're getting deported, and they want us to be down with them. They want us to be. They want us to be in their position or worse. And it's
Right.
revealing more and more. So our young people, they get to see what we're seeing, right? And that's the biggest thing to me of all things. Our young people, this is happening in front of their eyes, and they're going to bring the unity that we need as a people. Because they're the ones out here hurting each other. We ain't doing it no more. I mean, I'm 51. You feel me? It's the young folks, and they're starting to catch on and see that we got bigger fish to fry. So I think all of this stuff is God's work, man. Everything that's happening is
Right.
waking us up. It's unifying us. We in a good space. Look, we can stand back and eat our popcorn and watch everybody else go through their troubles.
Right. For a change. Right. Everybody just sitting back watching us
Yeah,
and also participating
yeah,
in it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're
yes,
gonna continue to sit
yeah,
back. And if you compelled to join ICE, then join them. It's another career
yes,
path. That's all. Can't nobody make a person feel
yeah,
bad about protecting the country that we live in.
right,
You know?
absolutely.
Yes, sir. So I appreciate your submission. You're welcome to stay on the
Yes,
panel
sir.
as well. We can go to Frostbite. Frostbite, where you from? What's your ethnicity, man?
I'm from the St. Louis area. I'm Black American all day.
You sure you don't have an immigrant background?
No, I have a auntie that was Pan African. Unfortunately, she's not here anymore. But
Okay.
she was the one who had named me, so I'm always give respect to her. Cause if it wasn't for
Okay.
her, my name would have been I forgot.
I forgot.
My mama, she
Okay.
was young. She didn't have any names prepared. So but
Okay.
my thing is when it comes to immigrants or people that have immigration background, why they say that we're next is because they never, even though they learned American history, and you know every time is Black American History Month, they learn about Black Americans in a sense of what Americans teach. They don't have any reason or any perspective of learning Black American history outside of American teachings, and because of that, they feel as though we're next, and they don't understand we always been first. And the only reason as to why the country is what it is now is because Black Americans have been fighting. They don't understand society in a sense of where Black Americans stop fighting. Even when it comes to Obama's, right? We're still having conversations about Obama and we're still fighting against it, even though we understand Obama's not Black American. He's Kenyan, right? He's Kenyan and white. However, we still fight. Even within the last election period, when it comes to the debate, when they said, oh, Haitians do this without the BAM, it was Black Americans also putting in a fight to say Haitians do not do this, especially not in Ohio without the BAM. So no matter what type of racism happens from the government or the community that kind of like inflates itself in the government, we're still fighting on the behalf of all people that are melanated. However, it's never, or I would say that is very recent in a sense of where we just pull back
Get to
when
your
it
point,
comes to it's
retard. I
not
can't wait for ICE to deport niggers.
it's not pulled back to the point of where we're saying, oh well, since they're not Black American, we're just going to focus on us. I think a lot of people in the Black community need to start doing that, because when we start doing it, um a lot of these businesses, especially in the Black community, will go into default. I can't wait for the moment of where the Black community stop going to liquor stores or gas stations that's owned by people that's not us. I will drive a full extra mile if that's what it takes for me to go to a Black owned gas station, a Black owned liquor store, a Black owned any type of store, right? Unless I'm trying to get Chinaman, then yeah, I'm finna go to Chinaman.
Right. I think that once people start seeing the play and start boycotting these different businesses, and then they slowly begin to disappear from our neighborhoods, people will start getting those stores, Black Americans, and taking over that stuff. But it's going to take us a
Exactly.
little time, but we're going to get there. We are going to get there.
Exactly. Because a lot of Black Americans have businesses. The thing that we do is we come from a certain type of situation. And I'm speaking on specifically these people. We come from a certain type of situation where we are from forgotten cities. And then we get to a point of where we make enough money to be in a city that is known. Let's just say, I'm gonna use my city for example. You come from East St. Louis, and then you go to a portion of where you could be in St. Louis, and you open your business in St. Louis, and then you forget about the city that you come from, which is the east side of it. How is that benefiting anybody? So you want to go to a tourist city so you can get tourist money, but you don't want to open up that same business in a sense of where it's majority. Both of them is majority Black, but you get more Black dollars, right? What sense does that make? Even if you went to that city and you open up, why can't you make a second store exactly where you come from? Everybody wants to move out and then forget where they come from as if that's not part of their history. Though these are the same exact cities that are founded by Black Americans.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay. Okay. It was Kiki Lolo, then Cool Water, then Men's, then J Real.
I was sitting here trying to figure out. She said "woo wop the bam." I'm like, she's not from Chicago, but I know that accent. And when she said East Saint, I'm like, oh, she do sound. One of my good friends was from East Saint. I went to college with a lot of East Saint people in Carbondale, but I I don't, for the life of me, I don't understand why they would think that they would deport us, because by them being immigrants, they we're supposed to study the Constitution and the amendments, the articles, which definitely protect us. 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments protect us. Not only that, but we've been here. We've been, there is no, I'm sorry, I'm driving, but I'm still trying to think. There is, our country has always been here, the United States. Even if they try to deport us, there's nowhere for us to go. So that doesn't make sense at all. Where are we going? Because I can only be deported back to the original suburb that I'm from. Because I live in Chicago, but I'm originally from, you're going to deport me to the suburbs? Where are you going to deport me to? And earlier somebody mentioned that the older people don't know, but thank God for my family, teaching us during the family reunions and just through oral traditions, just family gatherings that taught us where we were from. Um, but a lot of our elders do know that we can't be deported. Like a lot of times, me and my mom, even though my dad has passed away, but having this conversation with my mom, my auntie, and my uncles, they know that we can't be deported. Um, so there's no fear amongst them. I think it's fear amongst, the older generation and people who don't understand that they are protected. They've always been here, who take a Pan-African view and think that we can't be deported. I feel like I'm rambling on, but um, there's no way. And then what did Elsa say? Because I'm driving. Why do they believe we could be deported? Black Americans stand with ICE. A lot of us do stand with ICE. I had a conversation with one of my cousins back on Sunday, and he was surprised that I said I stand with ICE. And I was explaining to him why. And his fiance said she stands with ICE too, but the thing is, she's not in agreement with all of the violence that has been occurring because she thinks it's a bit much. But he does believe
Right.
that people should be deported. So I land right there.
Okay, okay,
Right.
thank you. All right, I forgot. I think I said cool. Hold up. Yeah, I think it was Cool Water was
You
next,
can go ahead to
and then
men's,
Nance.
man. I'm researching
Okay.
something. I'll come back.
All right, cool.
All right.
What's up, man? Good morning, bro.
What's going on, man? Initially, well, I guess I'll first answer the question and stuff, and then I want to add some context or maybe some may see as a correction. But why did many melanated immigrants hope that Black Americans would be next? It ultimately was a Black American, or someone who represented Black Americans who first planted that whole idea on national television. Jasmine Crockett being one of them. Because politically they know to make moves and to really amplify and bring out, agendas or even thoughts. They know the to cause that is emotional arousement or emotional engagement, and they literally, the government, doesn't have um, Uh, the government doesn't have an office specifically dedicated, with military and state-of-the-art technology to manipulate and use mass media to basically plant seeds to cause specific reactions for a reason. I mean, they do have it there for a reason. Um, so, ultimately, immigrants didn't come out with that on their own. It wasn't like a genius immigrant said, oh, let's just say that they're going to be next to get them involved, or let's say they're going to be next to, get them to support us and everything. It was a ploy that at some moment, at some point in time, for many people, effectively worked. Not for many of those of us. It may seem like um, we're the larger group that's not stepping in and so forth, but but for where it matters, which is the portrayal of it, we're minute representation. On the streets and stuff, it's not necessarily like, you look at the crowds and stuff, you don't see a lot of us in the crowds now as much as it was before. But on a political scale, you still have a majority of us that's still riding the Democrat, in the voting booths and so forth. They're still riding, down ballot on, they're going to vote Democrat regardless and stuff. And that only helped fuel that particular decision. Is like, oh, well, they're doing this to them and they're going to end up doing it to us. And if we don't vote this way, and et cetera, it kind of just blocks off the thought of switching or using other strategy to vote, even to step in to be represented in candidacy. Why did they believe we could be deported? Because they believed that we could be deported from, people who have tried to strategically manipulate us. People, whether you're talking about people in Hollywood and or artists, Cardi B, specifically, she has said something, alluded to that before. Yeah, so it's all strategy. But earlier, someone mentioned that the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. We actually had we had standing, and to make it very clear, slavery was never legal. It was never constitutional. I'll put it that way. Slavery was never constitutional. From the beginning of this country, in the very Constitution, it says all men are created equal. There was also many states that had like treaties, as well as laws and so forth, that banned slavery, and there were people who did not give a damn. Ultimately, you had people that fought in the American Revolution who were granted freedom papers and so forth. Black people had manuscripts, and often a lot of people don't talk about it enough, but this was a big thing. Kidnapping definitely was widespread, and tearing up your documents and so forth. In fact, they still do it now. They still do it now with a lot of the immigrants, Chinese immigrants, African immigrants working in sweatshops and all of that stuff. They basically will fund your citizenship, actually for
30
your
seconds,
documents.
bro. 30 seconds.
Yeah, of course. After actually for your documents, and then rip them up and everything, or hold them, and force you into labor and bondage and so forth to a certain degree. But anyway, none of this was anything that was ever, derived from immigrants. It was a Black American with the ulterior agenda that planted that idea. And of course, those of us who are scholars, shoot it down, and those of us who are just, aware, shoot it down. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. All
Can I
right.
can I ask a question?
I
What
want.
are you
I'll go ahead real quick, and then I want to
what are
get
you talking
to.
about, the 13, 14, 15? That those three amendments protect Black
Oh, hold
people,
up. All right,
our
keep load
civil
up, because
rights. Okay.
that's going to turn into a longer thing. But this once I get through the new people on the panel going to be open, and then y'all gonna have that back and forth. I don't mind. So let me see. Hanish,
Right,
Hanish.
right, right, right. So,
All right.
thank you
Hey,
very
hold
much for
on
the
real
platform.
real
This is
quick.
Anish.
Okay, where you from? What's your ethnicity first?
I'm from Nigeria. I'm from Imo State, right?
Okay, where you presently located?
I'm in Nigeria.
Okay, so what is your interest in this conversation all the way in Nigeria?
Right. But I visit America anyway. So why did many melanated immigrants hope Black Americans will be next? Um, so this is what I think, right? So the Trump administration ordered the removal of slavery-related exhibit signs in all national park and historic sites, right? So this is a sign to
No, it's
show,
not. Hold on.
yeah,
What
it
are you
is, it
talking
is,
about?
it is. So it is. Let me speak, host.
No,
So these
no,
are
I'm not.
messages.
What are you talking about? What do things being removed from museums or whatever have to do with deportation, sir?
No, no, no. I'm answering the first question now.
No, I'm asking you. What does what you're talking about have
I'm
to
coming
do
to
with?
this. I'm coming to the second question. This is just the first one. Allow me to speak, please.
No, answer my question. What does deportation have to do with monuments being or whatever being removed? What does that have to do with deportation, sir?
No, that's the message to show that this is just a sign to
No, it's
show
not.
that Black
It's
America
not.
will be next.
Listen, you don't make any sense. Okay, none at all. Jay, what's up, Jay? Good morning.
All right, let me just proceed
Can
to the
y'all hear
second
me?
question instead.
Nah, it's done. You're done. What's up? Good morning, y'all.
Chilling.
Unfortunately, I'm driving, so I can't read the prompt anymore. But
Okay, it says you're next. Why do so many melanated immigrants slash immigrants hope that Black Americans would be next? Why did they believe we could be deported? Black Americans stand with ICE. Black Americans first.
okay, so the reason why they say that is because these people are projecting what they want. It's like their greatest wet dream, and yeah, it's propaganda. These people tend to force team their way onto our fight. Like these people are trying to literally tether themselves onto us to try to fight for their causes, and it's a manipulation tactic. They try to get our emotions up and by fear and saying, "Oh, well, you're next," and they really try so hard to conflate ICE with police brutality and policing, and it's just dang because last time I checked, immigration or immigrant status is not a race. So when these people are profiling immigrants, 9 times out of 10, the telltale sign of you're an immigrant is if you do not if you have an accent, you look foreign because you're not the typical phenotype of an American. We know that. We can tell. It's not we're oblivious, and there's nothing wrong to actually call people out on that. That's just foolish. But these people try to gaslight and manipulate their ways of trying to make you feel bad and ashamed for calling people out. Just like how they try to force you to say that Caitlyn Jenner is a beautiful woman, knowing goddamn well that's a nigga balls. But you know but it's just these little tactics that these liberals and people who are adjacent to that bring that, like even now with this I haven't watched the Super Bowl. I don't know if anybody else watched the Super Bowl, but
I didn't
I
watch
know
that
I
shit.
sure did. I know I sure didn't, and it's pretty much got the common consensus that a lot of people do not watch the Super Bowl. But yet, the highlights of that Super Bowl show, which nobody knew who the fuck this dude Bad Bunny was, but all of a sudden, he gets notoriety for doing the Super Bowl, and they claim that this dude had the highest ratings, beats Kendrick Lamar by 2 million views,
Yeah, I
beats
think that's some
beats
bullshit.
Michael Jackson by 5 million views, and the talking points of how everybody got the imagery and the what they were trying to say was so beautiful, and everybody gets it with all the messages. It was just so fucking propagandized. It was just asinine because everybody kept saying the same shit. And then they were like, "Oh, he said God bless America," but then he brought all the Americas in and all these. I was like, "Some sports team and shit." Nobody's paying attention to that shit. Nobody gives a damn. You could tell that these people were repeating the same jargon and hoping that we would believe that shit. And it's just it makes no goddamn sense that these people are doing what the fuck they're doing. But I stand with ICE just like every other Black American stands with ICE because we're undeportable. We need to get these people out of this country. It's checks and balances. We need to respect everybody's sovereignty, just like when we go to other people's countries, we have to do the same. And I'll land right there.
Okay, thank you. All right, man, you're available. Um, she can
Yeah,
ask the
yeah,
question. Okay, Kiki Lolo, you ready to ask that question again?
Yeah, because I'm at work. I'm trying to figure out what was he talking about. Uh, the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment is protects us and our civil rights. So what are you talking about? You start talking about treaties and workshops and all types of other stuff.
yeah. I didn't say nothing
And I
about
simply
workshops, but
said something, whatever you said,
you asked your question. You
Chinaman.
asked your question, so I
Can
can
I
answer your
finish?
question.
Can I finish?
Yeah, hold on,
So
man.
Can I
And
finish?
man, this is a friendly back and forth. Kiki Lolo is cool,
yeah,
so
yeah,
let's
but
just
she asked a question, and I need to like I'm trying to understand. If she's asking a question.
yeah.
Everything else that she's saying afterwards is a statement because I know what the question starts off with. So what else do you want? I can answer your question, but what are you about to? What's this other stuff you're doing right now? What's this going towards? What's
Are
the
you getting
question?
are you getting a bit emotional?
No, I don't get emotional, but I know
You
bitches usually
just
claim
did
that.
what you just
So
say.
Hold on,
I
man.
said I
Chill,
don't get
man. Hold
emotional,
on,
but
man.
no,
Yes.
no, but she
Did you
you didn't
just
say
call me
nothing.
a
Don't say nothing
bitch?
to me.
Did
Don't
you
say
just
nothing to
call
me.
me a
Say something to
bitch?
her. Are
Did
you
you
getting
just
Hold on.
call
All
emotional?
right.
me a
So, all
Are
right.
bitch?
you getting emotional?
I didn't call you out your name.
I didn't
I
call
didn't
you a
even
bitch. I said
finish.
bitches usually say that. Are
You
you the bitch
said
that usually says
bitches
it?
usually
Yeah,
say that. So
yeah. I sure
I'm
did.
not a bitch. So you are a
Well,
man
I mean, are you acknowledging
disrespecting
it? Because
me
I
all
didn't
right.
call
Hold
you a
on,
off
bitch.
y'all.
the
Hold on.
off the rap calling me out
Let's
my
just not.
name is
Let's
wild.
just not. Let's
Bitches
just
usually
not,
say
y'all.
that. Is that not? Is
That
that a
All right.
false?
I
Is that a false
mans,
provocation?
All right. Hold
brother,
on, man.
mans,
Yes. Come on, man.
That's a
Nobody can say nothing to me
that's a
because she just told me
no.
I'm getting
Nobody's trying to
emotional.
look.
We all know what that means.
No. Yeah, but that's a bit obtuse. That's a
I
bit
don't give a
obtuse.
damn what y'all
So
feel it is. I said what I said. The fuck
All
yeah,
y'all
right.
but
think
Hold
y'all
on.
ought to
I
All
hear
right.
be?
what you
Listen.
said, but I'm saying
All
it's
right.
friendly, man.
Like, get the fuck out of here with
Yeah.
that
This.
sim shit. I don't give a fuck what
It
y'all
ain't no.
talking
It ain't
about.
no
And
simp
look,
shit, man.
y'all didn't correct anything she said when she said my getting emotional. I didn't call her a bitch. I said that's something bitches usually
I
say.
asked you were you getting emotional because you
And I
actually
said that's something that bitches usually say.
I and
So
All
tell
right,
me,
you
y'all. Hold
keep
on.
tell me
cutting
All
me
right.
where,
Hold on,
off.
man.
so
Hold
tell me
on,
where
You keep
I'm
man.
cutting
Hold
wrong.
me
on,
off.
man. Hold on,
You keep
man.
cutting me
Listen.
off.
We not gonna do that over here, y'all. We not gonna do this on a live panel. We're not gonna do this on a live panel. If y'all had y'all disagreement, so let's just not y'all that question just we gonna just move on, y'all. But come on, I don't want to see us disrespecting each other. We can't do that.
Well, you gotta be fair and call out disrespect when it first happens. Don't respond to the responder. Like that's crazy. And she asked a question. So at the moment she asked the question, I went to answer the question. You called on me first. So I didn't cut her off. I already had her answer for when she asked it the first time. So I'm gonna go with the answer. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment is to prevent the government from abusing power.
I actually did not
See, I
finish.
didn't. Oh, I guess she's cutting me off now. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't finish. But you
Yeah.
know what, D?
You did.
I
You asked
am
a
at
Yeah,
question.
work. He is
hold on.
super duper emotional, and I'm
Yeah,
just
you
gonna
super
get
duper
off.
bitch.
All right,
Oh,
come on, man. God
Yeah.
damn, come on, man.
this is wild as
Jesus
hell.
Christ, man.
This
All right,
is
well,
crazy. He keep calling
yeah.
me a
So
bitch.
y'all two just
He think that
don't
is
speak to each other. It's just let it. I would rather just move past this. I'm sorry that he called you that, Kiki Lolo. I don't appreciate that at all. Like it's crazy. But yeah. Can we move? Hopefully, we can move past this and just
no.
keep the
I'm not
live going.
gonna
Cause
be able to move past. I'm gonna
Kiki
go.
Lolo is crazy.
hold on, man. Be
I'm
quiet. Don't come
actually
off your
I'm
mic.
actually gonna go. You have a good day. I hope you
Sorry
know
about that, Kiki.
you changed your tampons, your pads, and all of that today. You get
Yeah, and
stop
I
being
hope you
so
stop being a
emotional
bitch.
when they come
I hope you stop
around.
being a
I'm
bitch.
actually a
Ain't
bad
nobody
bitch,
emotional.
so I'm
You're the
great. You
emotional
are. You
one.
keep calling me out my name.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
You keep calling me
very
out my name.
emotional.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah,
hey,
Very
man.
and
very
you're
Don't
very
emotional.
don't
Never
bitchy.
think
called you out your
just
man
because she
And you're
said being
very
name.
bitchy.
emotional is cause for
I
I
don't
Kiki
give
to
a
never
get
damn
called
how
you
word.
y'all
Like
out
I
feel
your
really
about
don't.
it.
name.
I don't.
I don't give a
Never
damn how
called you
you
out your
can't
name.
tell.
But
Hey,
okay.
look. How about this? How
We go
about
ahead and
this?
end this. I'm gonna probably mute both of y'all and drop both of y'all down because this
Yeah,
back and forth. We need respect in here. Y'all can have disagreement, whatever, but yeah, it's uncalled for. Like we get it. I understand where Kiki Lolo was coming from the first, but at the same time, now we're doubling down on it. Now that we're being contemptful, so this shit got to stop. I don't want to go back and forth.
yeah,
I
man.
respect and care for both
Look,
of y'all,
man. Yo,
but
look. I
I
ain't gonna
don't
let
want to hear
nobody
this shit.
call me
Honestly.
emotional
Wait,
over a
I get it,
response.
man. I get it,
You
but
don't get it because you sticking up for her as if she's
no, I'm
right
sticking
in the
up for both of
situation.
y'all. I'm sticking up for both of y'all because I'm trying to think of both ways. I'm not demonizing you nor demonizing her. I'm just saying we got to cut it out now.
Like she asked the question, right? He called on me, right? She went and asked the question again. Then she went on to make a statement. I went to answer the question. She responded with, "I'm being emotional." All right, that's calling me a bitch.
She asked if you were being emotional because sometimes when we hear people and we don't know if
Yeah, he
they're
ran.
not.
He ran out
Yeah,
of
no,
here.
he had a violation. He just got a
Yeah,
violation.
like
No,
what is wrong
but
with him? Like since y'all wasn't going to say it, I'll say it. But since he ain't up here no more, I'ma just
living life.
drop.
Hold on, living life. Hold on, let me finish. This.
Man, you got a 10 minute violation.
Yeah,
You can come
yeah.
back up after the
You
violation.
hear what I'm saying, brother. She asked you, were you being emotional? Because sometimes when we hear friendly fire, we don't realize it. We get too hyped, and when people come to us and ask us questions, we think that they mean or bad intent. So sometimes we get super not sensitive, but we get hyped, we get triggered. And so, sometimes we do get a triggered emotional response because we get ready to say what the fuck we want to say. It's not calling you bitch, but there's plenty of times I'm on edge, and somebody like, hey, you good? The way you said that, you was on, you were triggered, you were on 10. Sometimes, it's not always meant that way. That was just to check in the temperature. It wasn't to undermine you or side shot. But when you did that, going back and forth, now y'all pretty much it's a bullshit conversation after that. So all I'm saying is just respect everybody. We're allowed to have grace and slip. We're allowed to be misunderstood. But now once we both doubling down on negativity, it ain't gonna go nowhere. So if y'all can't
Yeah,
get along, then
I
just
don't wanna
make.
have that on these panels between us. Like I said, I don't believe that because she asked you was you emotional that was called for. And me and Men's is really cool, but I don't agree with that at all. But so
Yeah,
we can
I'ma
Hey,
drop.
Coming
you
from
Um,
a
guys
person
can't
I
even get
heard,
along though.
right, man, shut the
Damn.
fuck up, get out of
shut the
here.
fuck up, man.
So anyway, this is coming from a woman that I heard say, slap you in your dick suckers. So like Kiki Lolo is pretty direct. So I don't, that's why I'm saying I
Right.
don't think she meant that way. So that's why I was saying it was friendly, and I think that's what brother D. I don't want to speak for you, but you were trying to say, hey man, this is friendly. This is friendly. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because I know Men's. Like I know Men's. Like, listen, these I'm not trying to have them kind of panels over here. But all right, for now we're gonna move on. I ain't worrying about him saying a simp. I don't. I know I'm not a simp, so that doesn't offend me. All right, no mo. Where you from? What's your ethnicity? No mo. What's your ethnicity?
I'm African American, just like everybody else from
All right. Do
Louisiana.
you have an immigrant background?
Not that I know about. Nah,
I'm not an African American. I'm a Black American.
I say African American because we used to use it, so we came up with it. So I don't feel like just discarding it because of
It
2026.
ain't nothing African about me, so I
I
go
know
by
that's
Black
you, but I'm
American.
saying black people used to use that. We used to come up colored. We used to use all these terms.
All right. Well, we're not using it no more. That's why we delineating, right? But anyway, what's your thoughts on the prompt?
Well, when it says why so many melanated immigrants slash immigrants hope that black Americans would be next. I don't really I never thought we was gonna be next, so I never really paid them attention when that type of shit was hitting the internet. I never thought we was getting deported.
I know I'm not saying you did, but these people that I'm speaking about, melanated immigrants and other immigrants of different ethnic groups, they did believe that.
That's a superiority thing. It's like if we gotta go, then these people definitely gotta go because we better than them. That's what I think they was probably thinking. But half the people that they deporting, they're not even like real indigenous people. They're just like they just really hybrids. Like just a bunch of mutts they really getting rid of.
You said what? A bunch of what?
It's just a bunch of mutts that they getting rid of. None of these people claim to be indigenous. They all claim to be Hispanic, Latino, Mexican. None of that is Aztec Mayan. They're not using a real argument to say this is our land and we're coming back for it. Because
Huh?
they using the wrong title. They using the wrong. They're not claiming indigenous roots.
I don't know what that got to do with these people getting
What I'm
deported.
saying they got to do with them is that it could be a real argument on paper, like history and law wise,
I just
but
want
they
to
not
stop it
using
from
it.
here right now. Me, Jay, from Louisiana, my folks sent from Louisiana. We do not recommend this shit. The fuck he just saying. We do not call ourselves African American, and we do not do this whole native indigenous shit. That is fucking weird as fuck. I
How's
don't know
that
what the fuck
weird,
you
bro? I'm
talking
from
about.
Louisiana.
Because it is. Nah, you might be staying there, but you don't live there. I don't know your
Nah,
bones
I'm
are
from the
buried there.
culture. What,
That don't sound weird. Nah, I don't think so. Because that sounds
man,
like some
all this
backward ass shit.
delineating stuff, this started
That
this
sounds
year.
like some
Like
weird ass shit. Nah, we've
that
been
delineating
delineated for the
stuff, this
longest.
FBA
We've
movement
been
started this
delineated for
year.
the longest. We've been delineated from the longest. I don't know if your
Yeah.
bones are buried here,
Nobody's
sir.
been talking like that when I was growing up.
All
That's
right. So
some.
what? All right. What's the problem though? What's the problem that we've realized that being attached to other melanated groups is not helping us? It's hindering us. So what's the problem of realizing that and moving differently? What's the issue with it?
I don't got a problem with other black people doing that.
All
I
right.
ain't
So
got
what are
no
you
issue
talking
with
about?
black people doing that.
All right. Cool. All right. Let me go to what
It's
is her
just a
name?
different
Sadia.
perspective. I didn't know that.
Yes, hi, good morning.
All right. Hold on. Wait. Jesus Christ. Hold on. We're gonna come to you in a second. All right. What were you saying? You can finish real quick. No more.
I didn't know that, like, me having just a different stance from, like, FBA, or I didn't even know what y'all was really on that like that. So it felt like the energy changed soon as somebody come with a different perspective than the one that's already, like, on the panel.
All right. What's your
It,
so what is your
it's
perspective then? I mean,
gatekeeping. Gatekeeping is everybody's new, everybody nuance, and we can allow them to be here too because they want to claim this shit. That's some bullshit. We know who a visitor and who not. We know who are we call them, come see us, whatever. They come see you every now and then. We know people in our family that are still connected to the soil, to the down south, and we know they pretty much go out to north and the west and all that, but we know that they still are 100% Black American. They don't give that shit to nobody else. That's some weird ass shit. That's some weird ass shit,
See,
especially in
that's the energy
Louisiana.
I'm
We know
talking
where our
about,
bones are.
though.
That's some weird ass shit. That is. That's some Destiny Swap shit, bro.
But I'm
You said
saying,
Aztecs?
you
You
acting,
said Aztecs, Mayans, Mexicans. That's weird.
how's that
That's
weird?
weird.
First of
Because
all,
we
I don't
we
even, first
because
of all,
we got no,
hold
we
on.
have bones here that's us older than a lot of these people that got here. These people got here in the 80s and 90s talking about they indigenous. It's just some weak ass shit. Just because they say indigenous because you feel special, that you can
Talking
allow
about,
them to have that shit. That's
I
weird.
didn't say Mexicans were indigenous. I don't look at a Mexican like
Call them,
they're
you
indigenous.
call them mutts, and you said I don't know why they they don't just say hey they Mayans or whatever and take claim to the indigeneity. That's some weird ass shit.
I'm not finna. I see where this is going. This is going like, oh, we the original. Ain't no natives besides us. Dumb people from A. I already know where this is going.
Man, ain't nobody say that shit, man. Like,
No,
what are you
it's not
talking
about
about?
him
Listen,
saying that. That's where that comes from. That whole
that's
idea
not
talking
them.
about
Listen,
we got bones older than them.
that's
But he
not.
said it though. Said I see where this
Yeah,
is
like this.
I see
Yeah,
where
man,
this
this
is, bro. As
tripping.
soon as he said we had bones and like bones in the ground older than them, he coming
I
from
didn't
the
say
fact that
that,
we
bro.
already here.
What the fuck do you think we got? Listen, our people have been here. They've been buried in the fucking ground here. What are
I
you
ain't saying
talking
they
about?
haven't.
All right, man. Listen, we just.
What's his argument, D? I don't get what he's talking about.
It's not an
I think he
argument.
just
It's just
arguing
they
for the
hear
sake
my
of he trying to
perspective.
find an argument.
I'm
He's
not.
trying to find an
They hear
argument where
my
there is
perspective.
none.
He trying to segue himself into the indigenous talk. That's what that shit is.
Nah,
Yeah,
bro, they hear my
that's what I
perspective
see.
and they found out that my perspective don't go along with what
Where
they've
you
been
from,
already
bro?
had on
I
the
don't know
panel.
you.
What's your
Nah,
So that's the
perspective?
problem. And he just said, why should we let people come on here
Bro,
with
where you
nuance?
from? Does he hear me?
I heard you. You said where you from?
I
Was you
wasn't
not on the panel when I said Louisiana?
I wasn't even listening. Said Louisiana. So if I'm asking you stupid, I don't know. Damn. How the fuck you know how long this panel been running? And how many new people pop in and out? And they don't know what the conversation is because they may not been in the conversation? It's a simple fucking question.
I don't know why we even talking like this and we on the internet. Like, why we talking like that with all this aggression for like
all right, we're gonna go to
Yes,
Fadia.
sir.
Yes. Hi,
And
good
That's
morning.
something I want to play when you get a
she
chance.
high energy. How much coffee did you drink this morning, Fadia?
Umi? I actually
Yes,
only
how
just
much?
drank, I only just drank 2 cups of coffees.
I can tell.
Yeah.
You act the fuck up. But and where you from? What's your ethnicity?
I'm from Sierra Leone and I am a African. I live in New Jersey.
Of course you do. Anywhere but Africa.
what's your what's your thoughts
I'm
on the
not
prompt?
going home. Fuck you,
Okay.
Lafayette.
Okay.
Never. I would
Okay.
never leave.
Switch if I have to hide from you. You would never find me.
Okay, so listen. So first of all, they're not coming for legal immigrants that are not
Oh,
committing
yes they
crime.
are. Yes
Okay.
they are.
The reason why I think people are raising concern about ICE and Black Americans, if there comes a time they said, shoot or no, not shoot, pick up and send away and ask question later. There's a lot of similarity. I don't care. You guys are saying that we don't look similar. A lot of, especially the kids that are born here, they look like we all look alike. Okay,
Oh, because
so
they born
no,
here.
we do
We
not.
pick up your
okay, so
because
it's
the air
We
makes
don't
us
look
look
alike.
like you.
it's gonna be a problem if they start picking people up and not asking questions and just doing whatever they
No,
deporting
they
Never
them to
can't
gonna
do
be a
that.
somewhere.
problem.
They can't just pick you up without asking questions. They
Well, that's
have
what
to
I'm
ask
trying to say.
questions.
They are
They
not
have to
doing it
ask for your
currently.
ID. They have to ask for your ID. They have to find out who you are. If you are a black American in America, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Nothing. Okay?
The,
So it's not a possibility that it could
okay.
ever happen.
I pray so.
Anybody,
I
wait a minute,
definitely pray
listen,
that
wait
it
a
doesn't
minute.
get to that
Any
point.
person, hold on, man. Any
Mm-hmm.
person that has been deported has been an immigrant to this country. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's not one, you can't find one instance where a black American has been picked up and deported out of this country. Now, a person can be detained for questioning, but once they find out this is a black American, that person is going on. Okay? So
And
just stop it.
and black Americans are not have always been detained. This is nothing new.
That's a crazy.
That's
That's how you know that we aren't treated the same in America because you would have known that. You have known that not only was I detained, my daddy was detained, my grandfather was detained.
Everybody,
You
part of
would have
our
known that in
life.
a long. What you say, Kuwata?
It's part of our life. We have always been detained. The pull you over, you could be hanging out with the criminal. You will be detained.
Yeah,
But
if you look like somebody, I didn't got put up on many times. You look like this person. You got to sit here on the curb many times.
And
Y'all
that
didn't
is
care about that.
detained.
Matter of fact, Kuwata, what they said was shut up and comply.
Yes.
So we're just gonna show you a mirror real quick. You shut up and comply.
Right,
Hey,
right.
catch the African lady a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, and then we gonna go to
Go to
Rufus,
school in Africa.
and then Hot Tub. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Did you attend school in Africa?
No, I did not actually. Well, I did my my um high school
Good.
graduation, but
Great,
most of
good,
my
great.
education is
Let
here
me
in
ask you a
America.
question.
Uh-huh.
Did they teach you true foundational Black American history in your school?
They actually introduced to us a lot of books that not like teaching, but they introduced a lot of books that shows the history of Black people in America. Because
So
why? No, let
basically,
me explain to
basically, you
you.
didn't
Like,
know you don't know anything
no,
about Black
listen.
America.
Let me tell you something. In my country, Sierra Leone, our capital was actually where for slaves that went back. My descendants are slaves that went back. Okay, like
Okay,
our names, like my last name is Perry, Perry. Okay, and my grandmother, great grandmother have
oh,
an history. My lineage actually has been linked to
like
Nova
all she
Scotia.
please. I'm not asking
Okay,
for
so
your
that what
history.
I'm trying to tell you. So
I'm
we are
asking you a
aware.
question. I'm asking you a question for a reason. You don't get taught anything true about foundation of Black Americans. They use the same manipulative books to teach you videos and movies. That's not the true essence of Black Americans from the soil. So you come to the country with minimum, very low minimum information about the people you talk shit about in America. So therefore, anything the white tea tell you, you believe it because you study the same books that they sent to your shit country. And you know nothing about us. And then you come with that lack of information. And then when they tell you that the Black man can be deported, but since you know nothing about our history, you know nothing about the shit we fought for, you know nothing about the 14th Amendment, etc., 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 then you believe it, and then you repeat it, and you say, you knew a deported Black American, but that's because you have very limited information
Did you
about
hear
our true
when
history.
how I answered the question? Did you hear what I said about the question about the similarities and then picking up and asking question later? I didn't say they're going to deport any Black Americans. People born here, even Africans born here, are not deportable. It's not
What is the
possible.
similarity you speak of?
Pardon?
What do we fucking have similar?
A lot of people that I know that are African Americans look like Africans. A lot
Well,
of
let me
people.
correct you.
We
So
don't
just
look nothing
a
like
great
y'all.
history moment. Great history
You
moment.
say so.
Great history moment. Any African, any Black American from the soil who calls themselves African American, they don't know who they are.
That is not my call to say. I can't go that way.
What
That's not
I'm
my call
telling
to
you, if
say.
you're getting
Yeah.
information from African American who is originally from the soil, they do know. They have been bought, minds are confused, they don't know who they are, and they are very brainwashed. And you're getting the wrong information from the wrong group of Black Americans. There are two groups. There's the DNC, or how you say, the wheat thin, the side that goes with anything the Democrat Party says. They don't give a fuck. Then there is the grassroots foundation of Black American freedmen, Negro, etc., etc.
I heard the
You have
Feds
to
is
get the
actually watching
information from
that
this white side.
FBA. I
You
heard the
have to
Fed
get
is
the
trying to
information.
make.
You have to get the information from the correct foundational Black American. Other than that, you would be very confused like you are now.
The Feds is coming for you guys, the FBA. Watch it.
No, it is not. No
Okay.
FBA is going to
Okay.
call them African American.
They're gonna dismantle you guys like they dismantle Black Lives Matter. They're
Oh,
gonna
now
do
the
that.
true you come out, right?
Okay.
Oh, look, I see
Now
that
we get
shit.
to the root of it.
I see.
Hey,
These
I thought these
motherfuckers be
people see the
wishing.
difference. I
They
thought
wish
we
for
all
our
look alike.
downfall. Right. They pray for our
They
downfall,
gonna
man.
get some
You
of
say,
y'all
damn, I missed it. I
Africans because
missed it.
they
What'd
gonna
you
think
say?
y'all FBA then, right? They gonna get some of y'all Africans up because thinking y'all
I
FBA.
get
See, we all
excited
look
when they
alike.
show their stripes, man.
Yeah, we do because we already know that it's inside of them. They just come up here with
Hmm.
their bullshit to start off, but deep down inside,
But
they just like YT people. They just
They
like 'em.
are they're white tea people,
but
so
we
don't talk
figured
about
this
them.
out. We figured this out decades ago. I mean, it's not even exciting. Well, at least to me, it's we already know where they're at. Like it's not. It's
Yeah,
we know that they're
I
fake
know,
and
but it's
fraudulent and all of
this
that.
on this platform. It's a bunch of new people just hearing the information, and I think it's a good thing that they get to hear these people live in action. You know what I'm saying? But all right, so we're gonna go to Rufus. And then hot tub, and then we have Mam
Hey,
Kuba.
can you put me in
Mam
the queue,
Kuba.
please?
Yeah, yeah, you'll be right after her. Yeah. All right. It's on Rufus.
Yes, good morning. How
Good
you doing?
morning. All right.
So what I say, I'm a black woman, calling from Maryland, and I just wanted to say something. I agree with what you're saying because oh God, my family came from the South and they moved up to Massachusetts before the Civil Rights Act was done. And they were separated. You know, you had nothing but black and white back then.
Cool. You got hot mic, cool.
Um, and then after that, after the civil rights movement, that's when the immigrants started to come in and move in, not just in Massachusetts, but all up and down the East Coast. And the problem is when they came over here, they they had everything that they needed. They had loans, they had housing. They got everything that us black people could not get at the time. We had to work hard to get our stuff together. Now, when they came over here, they could get loans to get houses and get businesses going, and then they started to move them into the black neighborhoods. Remind you, they did not move them into the white neighborhoods. That did not happen. So when they started to move them where we are, you know, and their kids live here, and then they have their future here, and we try to get along with other races to say, you know what, we're brothers and sisters. Let's get along. Let's work together. The first thing they say, oh no, I'm not black. We over here. And they delineated from us and they have their own little cliques. Okay. And then they put the liquor stores and restaurants and all that stuff. And we, you know, they put up their grocery stores, and a lot of our black brothers and sisters would go to the stores, support whatever, but they still put us down. Okay. Fast forward to now, we're delineating from these people. Now they see that they need our help because now we're not stomping the ground for them no more. So now, you know, these things are happening. So you can't get mad at us. Get mad at yourself of how you mistreated us and how you disrespected us, not just years, but for generations. So, I love this delineation movement because now we see of who's what. And I land my plane.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Hot tub. Are you available to speak, sir?
Yes, sir.
All
So
right.
why
Good
did
morning.
so morning to the panel? So why did so many melanated immigrants hope that Black Americans would be next? It's a level of cultural jealousy, bro. They thought that they were going to come here. Their parents thought they were going to come here and replace us. This is cultural replacement right here. They literally tried to blend in with us, like the young lady said before me. They got every advantage when they came in here. They got advantages that we did not get. And now they seeing with the delineation movement that all those advantages, all those set asides are coming to an end. So they feel like we're the reason that those things are coming to an end. And they don't know how to handle it. So they call it the diaspora war. They call it this and that. We haven't put not one hand on you. It's the government that's whooping on you right now. We just not protecting you anymore. And that is just collapsing their whole way of life. They don't know how to deal with that. But that's not our problem. That's not our issues. We've been fighting white supremacy for over 400 years in this country. So we knew what was going to happen. We told you decades ago this was going to happen. Y'all didn't listen. Oh, shut up, nigga. All of this. Oh, we do so much better. Now they pulling the rug out from up under you. Now you like, why you not helping us? Because you told us, shut up, nigga. That's what you told us. So we shutting the hell up. But what we not gonna do is let folks like the dude that claimed he was from Louisiana come up here and lie about your lineage and lie and pretend that you us. Because that's the insidious part of them being here, is that they trying to replace us. They think they can do our music. They think they can walk like us, talk like us. They think they got the same swag as us. But you don't have the same cultural connection to this land as us. You don't have the historical backing up your ancestors like we do. So, no, you can't replace us. Deal with what's going on with you. We're not standing up for you. This is not our fight. And on that, I land.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, ma'am. Cool. Bye.
Hi, good morning. You could just call me MK if that's easier.
All right, where you from? What's your ethnicity?
Okay, I was born and raised in Maryland. My ethnicity is Tanzanian American.
All right, what's your thoughts on prom?
Okay, why do many melanated immigrants hope that Black Americans would be next? Um, I think the immigrants that say that is just as a rebuttal to what you guys say about well, some of you say about, oh, they're getting rid of you guys. And it's like, they're actually not. You know what I'm saying? It's a smokescreen. They're making it seem like Africans are being deported and whatnot, but that's not really what's happening. So that's that. And a lot of Africans are documented. You can't get deported if you're documented, even if you have a green card, unless you commit some sort of.
Well, it's
This
people that
lady, she's a
overstay.
liar.
Yeah, she's a
And you're
liar.
not even
It's people
African, so
that
why are you talking
it's
like
people
that?
that overstay their visas, their work visas, their
It
school
was all
visas,
Africans. I thought
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
all
yeah. Work and
Africans. You know
school
where it's
visa.
from.
Yeah,
You can talk like
works.
that.
Wait, how come I didn't come off my mic for anybody? Can y'all chill?
because you hold on, you're not going to say false information. If you do, we will correct you.
So, Hot Tub and Rufus didn't say any false information.
Are you getting emotional?
Hold on.
I'm not getting. I'm not getting
What did I
emotional
say
at
that was
all.
false?
I just
What
Hey
wanted to
man, stop
understand.
your bullshit, man.
I got to respond to
I ain't
that.
gonna say
What I
nothing.
say that
I'm
was
just
false?
listening because
Hold
they're.
on. You see, everybody just wants to come out the mic.
I
Like,
didn't
can
say
I just
nothing
You're not
about
finish?
you.
wrong, but it sounds like you're getting
But
emotional.
a
We,
host, aren't we supposed? Aren't I supposed to answer the
so
question
hold
and then
on,
after?
You hold on. All right, wait a second. You did just say people said things that weren't true. So what were they? What are you talking about?
What's his name? Hot Tub was saying something about delineating, right? He said something about when they came here. What was he saying? You know how sometimes things are just not.
You don't even
Ma'am,
remember.
you said
I'm
I
about to get
lied
to it.
and you can't even
Okay.
articulate the lie.
I remember what Rufus said, and
But
the
you didn't
Hot Tub
call
can come
Rufus,
back.
you called me.
I said
Yeah,
Rufus and Hot Tub.
So allow me to retort. Now,
Allow
what
you
did
to
I
what?
look it up?
Where's she from, bro?
Where are you from with your
She said
fake Wakanda accent? Anyway,
she said
What did I lie
Tanzania.
about?
she from Tanzania.
Oh,
She
she's
still
from
ain't said what I lied about.
That's because she don't
it's
have
just so
anything.
many. It's just so many that it
Just
goes
all right.
in
Look,
one
just
ear and out
Name
the
one.
other.
all right. Yeah,
Name
you
one.
because you don't because you he didn't say anything that was false. But
That
go
we were
ahead, just
moving
finish.
it. That they
Listen,
put us into. We were getting
just
loans.
finish your submission.
We were getting loan. Oh,
Fi-
sorry,
Yeah, go
sorry.
Finish
ahead.
your
But
submission.
I
Go
wanted
ahead,
to.
finish your submission.
That
I
we were
wanted to
getting
answer.
loans.
Go
God
ahead.
damn. Can I finish?
no.
Can you stop being emotional?
I'm not being emotional. It's just like, geez, I'm the only person that I'm talking. No, everybody comes off their mic, but it's an issue. Yeah, that's
Uh,
gaslighting. You know that.
No,
no,
people don't
Anyways,
like
Nobody
misinformation.
you guys, your whole thing is in misinformation.
Oh,
okay,
shut
go
up.
ahead. What did I say that was
You were
informative?
saying that we were getting loans when we were coming here.
That's
Y'all
correct. Yes,
are.
ma'am.
Okay. Oh, okay. What kind of loans were we getting, Miss Rufus?
Ma'am, you guys get government incentives that Black Americans do not get. Okay? I know that
Like,
for a fact.
like.
What do you mean, like?
What,
You're
you
not
got
You
finna
go to
sit
scholarships,
and
grant.
educate your
Whoa,
HBCU.
whoa,
dumb
whoa,
ass
You
hold
with
on,
guys
hold
get
on.
research.
Says like the answer to that is
No,
SBA
no, 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 no,
loans.
no, 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 no.
SBA
Let the
loans. The
yes.
person,
answer to
let the
that is
person that made
grants,
the statement.
scholarships,
Let
Pell
Hey,
Grants,
you don't
business
run the
grants. You want
stage.
to keep on going?
All of that is what he said, yes. And I stand by my statement because I said what I said. It wasn't no dig towards anybody. It's the truth.
I didn't feel like you were digging at all. But we were just talking about because they said facts versus truth versus facts. I mean, facts versus lies, right?
Okay,
So I
you guys
said, and
go
they
ahead.
said that they came off the mic because they said I'm lying, and I'm like, okay, well, there was some other people that was saying misinformation as well, and I said you, which was that is mis.
Well, allow me to retort to her.
Most schools
So,
across Africa don't dive deep into Black American history at all. It's not a core part of the curriculum, even in places like South Africa, Nigeria, or Ghana, where you'd think it hit closer to home. What you get instead is usually a quick mention of slavery, civil rights, maybe Martin Luther King or Malcolm X, like 2 sentences in a history chapter. Not much more. When it does show up, the info almost always comes from, well, non-Black sources. Textbooks are still mostly written by European or American publishers. Think Oxford, Pearson, or local ones that copy-paste from them. So yeah, you're looking at white academics, colonial-era historians, or mainstream U.S. textbooks that frame everything through a liberal, post-1960s lens. Foundational Black American scholars, like Woodson, Du Bois, or folks like Carter G. Woodson, barely get a footnote, if that. And voices like Garvey, or even newer ones like
Fuck
Bell
Garvey.
Hooks, nah, they don't make the cut.
Oh, okay, so
Many
you
private
listen,
schools
pick
are
and choose what you want,
negotiating,
right?
especially in Nairobi.
Oh,
Okay,
okay,
what I'm
okay,
saying,
cool,
what
cool,
I'm
cool, cool,
Yeah,
cool,
we
cool,
get
you
to pick and
cool,
choose
motherfuckers
our
don't
cool, cool,
history.
cool.
know
No
What you
worries,
shit.
talk about?
no worries, no worries.
Marcus Garvey's
This
a
is your
Jamaican.
source. This is your source, and look what your source is saying. But go ahead, continue.
Did you listen to what it said?
She did
Oh,
it.
I heard it loud and clear.
Heard what you wanted to hear.
This
But
is
let me
your
let me
source.
ask,
This is your
hold
source
on,
that you
African, let
pulled
me
up.
ask you a question. Let me
Okay.
ask you a question. Tell me the history was to you, the in-depth history from a real foundational Black American
I thought you were
historian.
African.
Shut the fuck up.
What happened
And
to your accent?
real foundational historian that taught your African ass Black history. Tell me.
You were too loud. I couldn't hear you.
Tell me a Black historian that came to Africa and educated you on the real history of foundational Black Americans, Negroes, freedmen, in that. Did anybody teach you the true history?
Yes, sexy red.
this an
Get
idiot,
her out
man.
of here, man. She wasting y'all time, man.
Now, I want to address her before she get up out of here. So, if you immigrated here if your parents immigrated here before the 1960s, they were uh, able to get the Homestead Act, which was repealed in 1987. And after the Homestead Act was repealed, they gave immigrants specialized set asides for housing, for education,
Not getting taught that shit.
Are
as
you
well
talking
as
about the
EBT.
refugees?
Listen,
All of you,
Hold on,
listen.
hold on, hold on.
all of you.
Wait. Hot tub, hot
Yes.
tub.
No,
So
no,
I
Wait,
didn't lie about
hold on, hold
anything,
on,
man.
I'm
hold
trying to
on.
understand him.
Hold
Can you
on,
hold
hold
on?
on.
God.
No, you're gonna hold on. I'm a mod. So
What
when
you
these
say?
immigrants
Okay,
say, "Oh,
ma,
I
big and
came
bad.
to this country with nothing, with $2 in my pocket," this is what they're talking about. The set asides that got you through
You
with
sound
just the
like a
$2 in
bottom.
your pockets, because nobody goes to to a different country where there's to visit or to live with just $2. It's called plugs and outlets. You guys come in and they roll out a carpet for you, and you have certain set asides. Don't act. Stop acting like you're
Delusional.
being oblivious to it. No, it is delusional.
Jay, now they
If you
got
really believe that your
they got
parents came here with
caucuses
just
set up.
$2 and they were able to actually get somewhere, that's fucking foolish. It is delusional. Thank you for admitting that. Now you must accept that delusion and do something about it and stop coming in our spaces and trying to validate your worth of being here because your fucking parents are parasites. That's it.
How am I
The
validating my
exploitation
She
is
worth?
she
over.
she's also a parasite
Because the
too.
exploitation is over. Your being here is over, and we're no longer allowing you to be to suck off of us. That's it. You're
Su-
not American. You're not black. You're not
I
black.
actually am.
You are African. You're Tanzanian, ma'am, and you will be going to Tanzania with your family. That's it. Enough said.
How will I be going with the blue passport? Like,
And enough of that dumb bitch talking about sexy red. Anybody say ignorant shit like that should have been kicked to the fucking moon. Not off the goddamn app, but to fucking
Oh
moon.
no, don't call her a dumb bitch, man. Don't do that.
Man, stop that shit,
Hey,
man.
hold on, amen. Stop that passive aggressive bullshit. Hey, look, when it comes to like Kiki Lolo, I fuck with her. So that's why when y'all before y'all and I'll rather talk to you about this offline. But when y'all first started having y'all back and forth, I said this is a friendly back and forth, so that you can know, like, come on, man, no disrespect like that. But I don't want to have this
I don't I
conversation
don't I
live.
don't know I don't know who she is. I didn't hear you say that. I was in another
Right.
app. I was in another app.
Yeah, I
But
was
I
saying
don't I
this
don't
is
know
a
who she is. When I
friendly
came
back and
back
forth.
I heard her say she asked a question and then you said you was gonna come to me and then everybody was talking. I switched to I was texting, but um
Yeah.
I don't look.
She
I don't know who she is. Uh, you know what I'm
she
saying?
cool. She one of
And
the cool ones.
I didn't call her bitch at first. I responded the way she said. She said, "Am I emotional?" I said, "Bitches usually say that." But I didn't call her a bitch. She called herself that. So and then she called me emotional, and I called her a bitch.
All right,
It is
hey,
what it is, you know.
okay, yeah, we can discuss it. I'll hit you later
Yeah, I
on
mean,
the text or something.
y'all can't leverage disrespect.
Yeah,
He
hey,
said
let's
y'all
let's
gonna talk about it
let's
off
talk about it
this,
later
outside
yeah,
of the
after.
public.
Right.
I just want to say, I think I hit a nerve with that other last panel, the other woman that was up here, because, if it wasn't true, she wouldn't get so uptight about it, of what my statement was.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. The before the I just want to make everything clear about the Constitution. The Constitution, because it has very much a lot to do with this conversation,
mm,
is written to prevent the government, to limit the government's powers. That's and it's not something that's just universally enforced. All right, like the courts have to choose to enforce it. So it's not something that you know, as people like to think that you just have. Right, you have to bring it to that point where the government, the courts have to obviously choose to enforce it. Um, if y'all have questions about that, I don't mind answering. But that is the problem with that. That has been the problem of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment for the last several decades. Is that the enforcement has the government has chose not to enforce the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, and now that we're around the block and they're choosing to, the problem has went unaddressed for so long, and the limitation on government, like they're finding now that that they're having a discussion now whether or not the previous enactments are legitimate, like from the passing of the 14th Amendment. Y'all know about that?
yeah, they're gonna make a ruling on it in June, I think.
Well, they're saying that the government never even had power to say that immigrants are even citizens, let alone Americans.
Well, here's the
Yeah.
thing: they dropped their babies off. That's what the old anchor baby thing came from. Is when most immigrants come here, they have their kids here, and then a lot of times a lot of immigrants don't have birth certificates or any type of social security numbers or stuff like that. So when they have the children here, and again, it goes back around to what I was saying before. There's sedatives that drop in their lap from the anchor babies, where they get housing, they get money, they get EBT stuff and whatever they can get, from our tax dollars. So, and when they grow up, they'll be able to, have vouch for their parents to stay here. So, and then what the woman's talking about, her visa, passport, that stuff will expire. So I'm just trying to figure out, what her point was, because I said after it expires, then what? What do you do next? Because a lot of them do stay here beyond the expiration date of the visa or the passport.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
So ultimately, I just wanted to make sure I did answer that question that was on the floor.
Yeah, no,
Amendments,
I get what you're saying.
yeah, amendments do not act on their own. They do not stop private discrimination. They do not override hostile courts. They do not enforce themselves. That's the what I was talking about earlier, enforcement. That's something that like we've been talking about for a long time, so it's not new to many people on the panel. Historically, what actually, I said before, like slavery was never constitutional. We need to get that out of our head, because what do we talk about reparations? If you're not understanding that, slavery was never was constitutional. There was federal enforcement laws, and there was courts willing to rule against the states, but that wasn't always the case. And what has caused that was like political pressure and mass movements. Remember, one of the earliest laws was black men being able to vote. And then, of course, what carried on after was the 3/5 compromise. But, the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment alone is not, doesn't have any powers. Actually, the laws prior to those that, that actually make those more powerful. And y'all know about the Civil Rights Act of 1866, the Enforcement Acts of 1870, 1871. They was also called the Ku Klux Klan Acts.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Civil Rights Act of 1875. I'm trying to remember. You had the Plessy versus Ferguson case, which which triggered that. You had that it was that case what's his name, man?
Dred Scott.
Yes, thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you. You saved me, because I really was not coming up with in my head. The Dred Scott case, right? Ultimately, like, you have to look at the system as exactly what it is. It's a system, and the system, how it's supposed to operate, how it always has operated, even prior to the Declaration of Independence and everything. Every system, every political system and legal system was dependent on other decisions, or, pulled from other experiences tied with modern experience or modern changes. Like even amendments today.
Like any other place that has governance.
Right. So like even today, people, I've heard this statement too, which would be great to add to the Jumbotron, is like them eliminating the 13th Amendment, or them eliminating you can't do that. They can only submit revision and make another amendment to replace it. The only time
they're not trying to eliminate it, they're trying to ratify it, like, and make sure it's very specific to who is meant for, because the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment basically was for Black Americans specifically.
No, they're not trying to ratify. It's already been ratified. What they're trying to do, what they're doing now, like I said, it comes down to a court decision, is enforce it. Like I said, none of these are those, every amendment has to be enforced. All right. That the problem is that the amendment is powerful on paper, but is not powerful in reality. It's just on paper, but it has to be enforced, and it's up to the courts to enforce it. So as long as that exists, you can't say they're trying to ratify it. The 14th Amendment was already ratified. It's on the papers.
I don't think I said ratify, but if I did, my bad. I'm trying to say clarify and specify who it was meant for. Because the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment was specifically for Black Americans. This is long before immigration and stuff like that. So when it talks about those who were born here as citizens, that was talking about us. That's what I'm saying. And those who were able to come here 60 years ago or whatever, blah, 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 those people are not technically United States citizens. That wasn't meant for them. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean but the reason why it's a problem now is because they did not enforce it. The government and courts did not choose to enforce the 14th Amendment, and I truly don't think that they've. I mean, I know y'all know about human trafficking and everything. I don't really think that they've done a great job enforcing the 13th Amendment.
Well, again, like I said, they took advantage of that,
Mm.
and when they came over here, the fact of the matter is that the attitude of these people that come into our communities, into the Black communities, they rarely that I know of send them into a white upsilon community. I want to know where in history have they been into the white, rich communities? They haven't. They put them into our neighborhoods. Okay,
Hold up. Let's talk about how when they first started coming here, right, in the 50s, 60s, right, 60s,
correct.
70s, whatever. Um, they were allowed to go to the whites only restaurants when they realized they weren't Negroes. Let's not forget that.
But isn't that
The
like
white
for
man,
Spanish people, right? Like a lot of Spanish
not
people.
just the
Spanish
Spanish
and
people,
African.
because the Mexicans did fight to be classified as white, not just on paper, but actually be treated as white in America. They literally went to the government for that because they were on paper as white, but they weren't being treated as white in person by the YTs. And they was like, look, we want to be treated as YT in person as well as on paper, you know. But that's how the
Yeah,
Mexicans
so they
are.
Well,
didn't go through Juan Crow.
No,
No, they
they
didn't
didn't go
go
through
through
Juan
one.
Crow.
Well,
That is
well,
a stupid. I don't know
well,
what. It's that guy who did Juan Crow. I said, what the hell's a Juan Crow? I'm sorry.
John
I got I,
Leguizamo.
I got
The
pissed
hell?
off. Y'all saw that picture of the little painting that they added a little
Yes.
Latino boy
Holding the
next to
black girl's
Ruby
hand.
Bridges,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
I
that was
was
some
mad
bull.
as hell.
Listen.
Man, shit, because
well,
Ruby
Martin Luther
Bridges is
King.
still alive. She should be
Yeah, she
speaking out
not. I
on
think
that.
is
Yeah,
she in New
she's
Orleans right
still
now?
alive.
I don't know if she still live here, but yeah, I was mad as hell when I saw that shit.
I'm
Because
Martin
they were
like,
Luther.
on the same side as the YTs with the damn signs back then. They didn't want.
Exactly.
So how the
Yeah.
fuck y'all talk about some wine crow and y'all were on the same side as the YTs back then?
yeah, that Juan Crow thing. I'm like, what? I've heard, I said, so let me guess. I said, so when you went through Juan Crow, when my ancestors had the colored fountain, y'all drunk out of the same water fountain as us, right? When my ancestors did the boycott for the bus, let me guess. Y'all had to sit in the back with us, right? With Juan Crow. I'm just trying to figure this out. I really am.
What they're doing is insulting our intelligence. They think we don't know history, and they haven't figured out by now. We know history. We study history. We are the average Black American is a damn historian. We have to know historical context because it's been used against us so many times.
Yes.
Not just that, the running joke is we know laws. Like, how the old black man would just pop up out of nowhere. Oh, don't do that. That's 3 to 5. Don't do that. We just those people. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to law stuff, or when it comes down to historical things that our people have done and been through, we are that people. We let people know we are well informed and researched.
I was
And
trying to remember. I thought it was Martin Luther King, but somebody probably recite this better than I could. There was an experience where he went to a restaurant and he was turned away.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali as well. No, it was also Martin Luther King who had the same experience. He was later arrested and put in Birmingham jail, but it was people. I'm pulling it up right now, but it was him and a few other people he was meeting with, apparently going to a restaurant, and he was turned away, and there were some people that spoke Spanish, and they were let in. Muhammad Ali, I think, was Africans. Muhammad Ali
It
was
was Africans that was with him, not Hispanics.
that was Muhammad Ali you're talking about, but Martin Luther King was Hispanics, and Malcolm X said it in a famous speech. Well, it's not so famous now, but it was a broadcasted speech at a meeting at Adelphi, and it was actually the day that was it Paul Robeson that was assassinated in his driveway? Yeah.
Oh, you
I
mean
think it was Medgar
Robertson? You mean
Evers.
Mega Evers?
Medgar
Mega
Evers.
it
Yeah,
was
Mega Evers.
It was Mega Evers, right? Yeah. So the day that Mega Evers was assassinated in his driveway, there was a meeting. They actually found out he died that morning. Well, so
Unalive.
yeah, unalived. Excuse me. Um, Ultimately, Malcolm X has said in that speech that if he was to go down, go to the South, and that a person with a turban on their head or spoke Spanish would not be lynched. They were not treated the
Strange
same.
fruited.
Or strange fruited. I can't say that word either.
No, yeah, that's
I
another
wouldn't
one of
be
the words.
correct. I wouldn't be giving you a different term if you were
Okay.
able to say it.
Yeah, strange fruited. Yeah, I mean, some people would be mad extra on here, but I mean, I'll be hearing people calling people N words and everything.
I'm gonna stop.
Yeah,
I'm
they
gonna
let that.
stop.
No,
Yeah, they
you
let
can
that
not. You
word
can keep
fly.
correcting me because I don't. I'm on here spotty, so I don't know what the policy is anymore. But thank you. Ultimately, what I'm getting to in all of this is that um, we've had many protections historically, and what it's always come down to is more so our. I hate to put it this way, but our procedure on how we make the things that are enacted effective. So it's like obviously not being invested into politics has its downsides. Not being invested into law has its downsides, and ultimately, what it comes down to is that our sheer small, minute ignorance can lead to no protection. We could be informed in any arena: technology, science, math, art, et cetera, et cetera. We could be geniuses. We could be developing state of the art systems. And if you don't know one little thing, all of it can all be swiped away from you, legally or illegally. Obviously, someone having a better case than you, and we've seen this happen. So, I mean, immigrants, who have convinced people that we can be taken out this country. I haven't read any period of time where we were forcefully removed from this country prior to the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment.
If they had the power to remove us, they'd have done it by now.
Because remember this. Remember this. Abraham Lincoln has a quote. George Washington also has a quote, and many other presidents. But I say those two because they were basically the generals who served in one in the American Revolution, the other one in the Civil War. And most power is exemplified during wartime. They both have said that they would rather remove us from this country. That one of them said that white society, white society wouldn't exist. Another one said that white society cannot reach its full potential with the presence of Negroes. So you had the ACS that happened in the early 1800s, 1821, I believe, 1822. It was back to Liberia, right? And they didn't forcefully. Those are people who chose They had to choose to go to Liberia. So I mean, if they wanted to forcibly remove us from this country, or if they were able to, they would have done that a long time ago. Um, and again, I think that what the truth is that um, we're something to them that many of us hasn't acknowledged yet. I think they understand that the progress of this country would completely be eliminated, obliterated. It wouldn't even exist without the presence of actual Black Americans. And they don't want to disturb that part of our function.
Did you specify a number that you just said that went for the ACS to Liberia, or you just was just talking? I'm sorry.
No, I didn't specify a number, but it wasn't no more. It wasn't no more than a few thousand. Many of them died on the way there to Liberia and Sierra Leone.
It was about 12 to 15,000, and it was unalive.
Yeah, they own a lot. They want doing it. But no, I didn't specify a number. I was talking about 1821 when it's around 1821, 1822 when it started. I know like 1842 or 1846, something like that is when Liberia established their independence. But again, people still wasn't being forced to leave or, captured and put on ships and shipped out to that country.
I mean, bottom line, our existence here in America is enshrined not only in the Constitution, but in the fact that we've been here for over 500 years. That's documented, and probably longer than that. So they know they can't get rid of us. But the problem is these immigrants come here without a grasp of American history, without a historical context to it, without a general understanding of the laws and the Constitution of this land. And they make statements like, oh, y'all gonna get deported too. Fool, you don't understand America. Just say that. You want us gone because you're in this position now. Because y'all spent the better part of a decade telling us y'all were here to replace us. Y'all were so much better than us. Now you're seeing that the tide has turned on you and you don't know how to handle it. You're not accustomed to fighting. You didn't fight for your homeland. You're not going to fight here. So you're not a net gain to us. Your existence here is not helping us. You're a hindrance to us.
The
You
existence of immigrants has never helped any country long term.
exactly.
It's only helped globalists. It only helps
Exactly.
globalists because it mixes up. It mixes up not only the culture but the marketing schemas and so forth, and it allows the minimum wage to remain at a stagnant low, as well as politics and so forth to be represented by people they can control, such as other
Yes.
immigrants. And the same thing with the LGBTQ. Same thing. And that's and host. I would love for you to do a topic on that if you dare, because what is going around now, very vastly, is that if we don't agree with the agenda or we don't agree with what they're doing with our children, with the LGBTQ and all of that stuff, then we should also agree with how we were being discriminated. They're basically saying that being Black and choosing to expose that you're gay or so forth, whatever words y'all use. I don't want to go down the list because I don't know what's acceptable or not. But choosing to be trans and all that other stuff, right, is the same thing as us being born Black. And that if we're against, them teaching our children and I think that is not teaching our children. I think that they're what is it called when they do, they mold the kids and stuff. When they molded and stuff, like they train them and stuff.
Grooming.
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 Thank you.
Yeah, grooming.
Yeah, like this is grooming on like it is like, I mean, nobody could deny this. Like I could, if we literally look up what grooming is, they have basically been doing that in schools in the last 10 years. I mean, in that particular, because I think that they've also been grooming kids in another way in politics, a certain way too, during our times going to school, public school. So, I don't know who they're talking about. Dumbass couldn't even say indoctrination. That's not the word I was looking for. I was looking for grooming. Dumbass.
Don't feed into the comments,
Yeah.
man.
Don't pay
But
him no
let me
attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't.
Ultimately, like, yo, think about it. Think about the Democratic Party, right? And look, this is so funny. It's like one and the same. During the 1960s, 1970s, they groomed our grandparents into being Democratic sheep.
What?
Yeah. Vote.
So you
What has
said,
it?
hold up. You just said that they groomed our grandparents into being Democratic sheep when
Mm-hmm.
the
Yes.
only reason why they switched over to Democrat from Republican is because that the Dixiecrats were upset about the civil rights movement being allowed and put in force. That's why they switched from being Dixiecrats to Republicans. They wanted to vote against the rights that Black Americans had got.
We should have voted against the Civil Rights Bill. We already had the civil.
All right.
We already had the Civil Rights Bill. We had the Civil Rights Bill of 1866. The Civil Rights Bill. Look. Okay, let's have a fact based conversation here. What did the Civil Rights Act of 1865 do for us? I'll tell you what it did for everybody else. I'll tell you about the EEOC. I'll tell you about what's the one the Chinese people just spoke have recently got it reversed, and then they started crying about
Affirmative
it.
action, but
Affirmative
that's
Affirmative,
not a
action.
reason
affirmative
why we
action.
shouldn't have supported.
That's a different argument, bro. That's a whole
Yeah,
No,
it's
different
a
argument.
whole different
no,
I
argument.
they
understand
were.
where you get. I
It's the
understand
same.
where you getting
It's the
at.
same argument. I'm bringing in the facts. We can't
We
just because
get
we don't
that,
like the
bro.
facts doesn't mean that we
What's the
can't use it.
facts?
The facts
Oh,
is that affirmative action and equal opportunity employment were detrimental to the black community. It was
yes, they
That's
used.
not
were.
what we're
We
talking
understand that,
about.
sir.
You
No,
said
that's what
in the
I'm talking
beginning
about.
why they
Wait,
should have
hold
never
on. I wasn't even
supported
talking
it.
to you. I was talking to her, and I don't. You just came on the stage. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm
She's
a
a
co-host.
co-host.
I'm a
She's a
co-host too.
co-host.
I'm
I'm a
not a
co-host too.
mod, a
No, fresh and
co-host.
co-host. Yeah, fresh and co-host.
Jesus Christ. Why are you so combative this
Yo,
morning?
don't try to argue me this one. I'm not even here for that. I'm here to actually have a conversation. I'm bringing in something. I'm bringing in my points. You don't like my points.
That's
You don't
what
like
we're
my points.
doing, mans. We're
So
talking.
I'm bringing in my points. I'm saying she asked me a question, and I'm answering the question with my answers. They're not your answers. So
That's
my,
not
my
the point. You was
so
making a
so
point.
so no, I was answering a question.
You
Do
were
you know what her
saying
question?
why we
Do you know what
should
her
not
question? Hold
have
on, hold
supported
on.
it.
Do you know what her question was?
Why should we not support? Why we should have never supported the civil rights bills? That's what I'm
See, you don't
responding
even know
to.
what the question was. It wasn't the civil rights bill. It was
I'm
the
talking
Democratic.
about you.
Yeah, but you jumping in the middle of the conversation. You don't know where it's coming
It
from.
wasn't in the middle, and I
Yes,
wasn't
it
the
is in the
only
middle.
one.
So obviously you don't know. So let me inform you. I said that we should have never voted for the Democratic Party. I said that our grandparents were groomed into voting for the Democratic Party. And she said, "How were our grandparents groomed for the Democratic Party?" And then she brought up
Keep
the civil
going.
rights. She brought up the Civil Rights Act of 18
Mm-hmm.
of 1965.
Mm-hmm. And
And I
what was
said
your
that's
statement?
and my statement was that we already had the Civil Rights Act of 1866. And
You
I said
said we
this
shouldn't have
and
supported it, and I
and then
asked you
no,
how.
and then I said let's have a fact-based conversation. What did the Civil Rights Act of 18 what did the Civil Rights Act of 1965 do for Black Americans? Because I could tell you what it didn't do.
But did you or did you not say we should have never
I just
supported it?
told you what I said. What's hard to understand?
Yeah, you better.
No, I just told you what I said. I just told you what I said. So and it was because the Democratic Party manipulated and groomed, and that's why we have this whole vote blue for no matter who nonsense. Because they basically groomed Black people into thinking that both one party is more racist than the other. One party is for Black people, and the other one is not. One party is for Americans, the other one isn't. That's grooming. They
Bruh,
literally have a whole history of doing it for the last
bruh,
60 years. They talk about emotional arguments,
bruh.
gay
I'm not
people,
even
lesbian,
disagreeing with your
trans,
argument.
children, children and all this other stuff. The Democratic Party has been using
Men,
emotional
men,
arguments. What's up?
power down, bruh. Calm down. Because I
Nah,
don't think
Fred,
anybody.
I don't know where the
Hold
hell
on,
Fresh is trying
listen.
to get at, man.
Just hear me out. Hear me out. Nobody's disagreeing with what you're saying. Nobody's disagreeing that the Democratic Party harms black people. That's not what our argument are.
Exactly. Nobody disagreed about that.
I think we're getting away from the point of the topic of the conversation. That's where we're going with this. Let's bring it back to what the host got on the prompt.
Oh yeah, I mean to bring it
That's
full
all we telling
circle,
you, bro. Call power down.
it's the same. The people, the immigrants that are saying that are not saying that because they came up with that by themselves. They came up with that because Democratic representatives, the Democratic Party, which is really for everyone else. I kind of spoke on it earlier about globalists and so forth, but they benefit from this. They benefit.
Absolutely. We
They
do
they
not
benefit.
disagree.
Yeah, because they dilute people who become informed and switch or become informed to make better decisions in politics and finances as well. Like don't separate the two. And they basically have these other people using one of their playbooks and stuff. This one is now, oh, if we go, then you're gonna go, you're next. And what is that gonna do? That's gonna say, oh no, we gotta protect them. And the only
30
way we could
seconds, man.
protect them, is voting Democrat and get the conservatives or the Republicans out, right? They conflate the two terms, conservative and Republican. They're not the same thing. But anyway, they basically demonize any decision that we could possibly make that would alleviate anything that's against us. They use immigrants as a pawn, and that's all I have to say on that, man.
The only
Hey, we
caveat I would
gonna
add to that is that both parties do that. I wouldn't relegate that just to the Democrats or the Republicans.
Thank you.
That's why we
I
all
was
right.
trying.
That too, but
we
I
have to
do
divorce
understand
ourselves from political
why we
parties.
supported the civil rights bills too. It's not that they harmed us, they changed the language within our civil rights bills.
Exactly. And they started to focus on immigrants and non-black Americans.
White tea women first.
And why? Oh, that's what the
Hmm.
what's the
That's what affirmative
affirmative
action.
action?
Yeah,
That's who it benefited the most. YT women.
that's how women got their rights under the civil rights bill. Actually, white tea women.
Yep.
I see where
Good
he was
morning,
going.
Fresh.
I see where he was going with it, and he's not incorrect. Only thing I would add to that was what you guys were alluding to. We were looking for equality. It was always separate, but we were looking for separate but equal. They beat us, like you said, Fresh, with the language, and they included everybody.
Democrats have always done that. And
Yes, they,
so my pushback my pushback
yes,
is
they have.
my
But
pushback
neither.
is that we
Hold
should
on,
have
hold on, hold
been
on.
we should have pushed.
Let me
All
land
right,
real
y'all.
quick,
Hey, I'm
bro.
trying to get the Paul, y'all. I'm trying to get the Paul. He been up here for a while. So if y'all can wrap this back and forth up in a minute, we can get right to Paul.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. And to my black queens, I appreciate all the wisdom that you've been sharing over the past several weeks. It's been really thought provoking here. Two things I want to make mention is that um, when it comes to the diaspora, and I've been hearing this on plenty platforms, which I'm really sick and tired of if people like, well, I want to ask a question. What about I got a question? When it's really not questions, it's more or less interrogations. You know what I'm saying to us Black Americans, and so I just don't want you all to get reeled into. Well, I'm just trying to understand something. So I'm just want to ask a question. No, they just interrogating. Those are interrogations. And just want to mention the second thing I want to mention to you is that during I worked at one of Chicago's top luxury hotels, right downtown, and FEMA had occupied like 40 something rooms for a period of like 6 months at a rate of like $700 a night. Okay. All right. And I'm like, well, what's going on? What you guys are doing? I said, oh, yeah, when these are people coming from Texas getting bussed in and we gotta have this. We gotta process these people. I'm like, well, what's the process look like? Oh well, we as soon as they come off, we're gonna go ahead. We gotta figure out housing. So we got that. We're gonna give them a social security number, and then also we're gonna give them Medicaid. You know what I'm saying? And then also we're gonna be sure that they get approved for Section 8. And I'm like, well, there's people been on Section 8 trying to get on the Section 8 for years here. They say, yeah, we know, but they gonna step up to the front of the line because we got to supply them some housing. And then I'm like, okay, then what's another thing? If they got kids, oh well, we gonna enroll these kids in the schools, and then also we're gonna be sure that they get full SNAP benefits. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm looking like, okay, all right, kind of going in one ear and out the other. But this was doing when Biden was in office. And so I'm like, oh, okay, it sounds pretty cool to me. But then all of a sudden, you know, we had this group in Chicago called Chicago Flips Red, and then when they start coming out like, you want to spend, they like on the books of Chicago, they barely could get a budget, but they're going to spend $250 million to the immigration situation. And then if you drive up and down the street downtown, it's all these homeless people sitting in there, in tents. And then the mayor go around crying like, "Oh, we gotta help these people." I'm like, "What? Are you that hypocritical?"
Yeah. So, um, what was that guy's name that I talked to earlier? Is he still here? The person that was speaking before the last.
Talking about hot tub.
That's me.
Yeah. What's up, man? So like another thing is that I'm also a firm believer that we were doing far better as a people prior to civil rights acts and integration and affirmative action and everything else. I'm a firm believer that we were so prosperous and and productive as a people that we were coming on the brink of ultimate solution where they were going to be forced to hire us. Because shortly after, they divided our communities and everything, and immigration went on one of the highest peaks in the history of this country, other than not too long ago during Biden administration. We had more control. We had more unified way of operation as well as communication.
Bruh, before you get too far down the road with it, I agree with you. I'm not arguing that.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, that's not my argument, bro.
I'm not saying that to oppose anything you're saying. I'm more so just clarifying why I think that there was a lot of decisions made, and on paper it looked productive, but when we seen when 1870s hit and especially 1880s, and I'll get to a specific date, 1980s, 1986, when Biden added that 3-1, and then you had the 1994 crime bill. I think those are two big chapters in our history that we should have jumped ship. We should have known that even after the immigration and what it was doing to our communities, and how discrimination was still allowed, and how they had an influx of all immigrants. I'm not just talking about melanated immigrants. Talk about non-melanated immigrants, inner cities and stuff like New York. My parents spoke to me about all of that time and what was going on. They replaced, many of the labor force in most of the places. Most of the places was us that represented a prominent or significant percentage of employment when it came down to construction, development, office work, even administrative duties all the way up to high level positions. We actually had a huge percentage, and farming as well. And
I
I
All right,
just really
hold on,
oppose.
guys.
I just oppose the idea.
We do have a
Wait,
new
what's
guest on the stage,
the
and
hell?
he's putting something in the chat. Finish up in like 30 seconds, man.
Yeah, I'm done.
No, I'm not new. He got it.
Hold on, no, she's not talking about you. Hold
So
on.
no, I am. I thought he was new.
Oh yeah, he was up
Because I
here
didn't hear him
earlier.
speak. Yeah, but he was in the chat talking about let him fight or something or some other stuff.
Oh,
So I was
okay.
trying to see
he
what that was
Yeah,
about.
he's a
he
Haitian. He's a
yeah,
He's
Haitian.
a
he's a
Haitian.
He's
Okay.
Haitian.
Cut my build over this bullshit, man. I'm
No, we
done
do,
anyway.
but we do have a new
No,
person though.
we
Yeah,
gotta
mute that
land
shit.
though, men's. That's not.
Yeah, I
You
could
gotta
land
stop
if
taking
I'm allowed to
everything
finish and
to.
stuff. Everybody else talks for three
You
minutes.
were
I
just
talk for
going
1 minute.
on and on about which sectors where we lost a lot of things, and I don't know. Affirmative action. I mean, civil rights bills is very beneficial. The reason why we needed them is because of due to the discrimination that we was facing, and even today, affirmative action is across all sectors. That's the reason why we get the 33% out of all resources due to our affirmative actions. So
Right,
just because they took it from us, that doesn't mean that we didn't benefit from it.
right, right. Okay, we do have a new person on the panel though, and this C Dub. So C Dub, where you from? What's your ethnicity?
Before you do that, you let this troll still be up here, or free up space. 'Cause he ain't
Yeah,
answering
I'm gonna
that.
see what he. I'm gonna add that we finish with this dude. I'm gonna see what he got to say after that.
Yeah, I'm from Chicago, black. A lot of these immigrants, they want us to feel uncomfortable, knowing damn well we can't get deported anywhere. Um, and they do it for a lot of different reasons. It's a lot of jealousy going on. It's always been hate. And that's just how it is with everybody, really. And what else could I want to add to this? Yeah, I think it's best if we keep repeating and keep basically putting your foot in their ass, because it's like the disrespect for all these years, for all the stuff you do for or all the stuff we did, especially for like African immigrants. People would tell you, Black Americans ain't the reason we here. They'd rather give respect. All the accomplishments, they'd rather give it to a white man. And that's just how they is when they come over here. They doing everything. You don't see them combating white people as nearly as hard as you see them coming on pen. My bad, do y'all still hear me? I got like one bar.
Yeah, can hear you.
We can hear you.
Oh yeah, yeah. So if you notice, you don't see them in anywhere, any other spaces, and they too embarrassed to go talk to white people because they feel like they English is more profound or some shit. But they too scared to go talk to them and tell them about how they fucking up Africa, how all this neo-colonization, how Asia's kicking their ass. They don't say nothing. They don't say nothing. Then when they come here, they'll tell you that why you want me to hate the white man? We ain't got the same enemy. So they didn't grow up in America, and it'd be naive of anybody in America that's black to want to unify or do any fucking thing with them, because they're not going to see shit from your lens. It's very they looking for opportunity. You can't build with people that has their own intentions. You know what I'm saying? We okay with this shit. We good however it go because we so resilient, and that's how we always been. We always gonna be all right. But these people, they come here very desperate, and they want to undermine you in any way they could. They want to compete with you. Anything you do, they think that they could do it better, knowing damn well they can't do it better. But they just want to feel like they can, and so you won't feel like you the shit. It's all it is. I just want people to really start waking up and knowing who they is and knowing the power, the influence we have, because we're very influential people. We just ain't got too much control of the narratives that be going on. But like I said, they're not educated enough to even hop on this combat this system. They don't know that much about America, so I don't know why people are expecting so much from these people.
And that's not me being condescending and shit. Like, you know, I don't know. Like, they didn't grow up in black and white. Y'all need to understand that.
Right?
So
Okay.
yeah, and that's pretty much. They just. I think it's all rooted out of jealousy and hate. To be honest, history shows that we did our part. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, so no more. Are you a Pan African?
I don't even know what that means. I'm gonna keep it real. I
I
don't even know
seen
what that
earlier you
means.
said something about Marcus Garvey.
Marcus
Oh,
Garvey was trying to send people back okay.
okay.
to
Yeah,
Africa
I
with
brought
the
him up because he a
KKK.
black American. Oh, see, hold up. C Dub, was you speaking or you got a hot mic?
Yeah, I was saying Marcus Garvey. He met up with the KKK, telling people to go back to Africa. I think he was like
Triple K. But
my
yeah,
bad, my bad. Yeah.
I seen him.
He was a
He
little
spoke
weird, and
about
I
it
think he
earlier.
got kicked.
So
Didn't he
we
get
can
kicked
have
out of
two
the
power
civil?
sources.
My bad. Didn't he get kicked out of the civil rights
There's no
movement?
reason why black Americans shouldn't have no power source in Africa while still being in America. Period, point blank.
Okay, wait, let me
Aren't you
explain
a
to you.
Haitian?
Wait, hold on. Let me
No,
explain to
I'm
you. Let me
not
explain.
Haitian. Somebody else said that shit.
Well, let me
Yeah.
explain to him why you can't have a power source in Africa. That's a foolish
I don't
thing,
want to
right?
hear why I can't. That's over with right there. All that can't. I don't do that.
Don't entertain him. He's a goofy.
So yeah, it's like what type of person you can't hear
I
opposes
do have a question though.
Nigga,
what
you not even
opposes
in my
man.
city
So,
talking about
so,
some goofy shit, bro.
so,
I
yeah,
know you
so,
want
yeah,
to
so
talk
I
crazy,
just
but I just
hold
want
on,
to link up.
hold on. Hey, can I speak from one Louisiana to another? But I gotta go ahead. I love us, but I want to
I was
answer
just
this.
going to say there's 150 people in a panel. So I need you to keep in mind that when somebody says they want to say something, there's 150 people listen. So even if you don't want to hear it, just mute and let the person talk. That's all.
I agree. But go ahead.
Hey,
I'll go to you about the
all
J. Go
right,
ahead.
yeah, so I wanted to know, no more, from Louisiana to Louisiana. What's the shape of Louisiana? It's
What
very
you what
important. It's very important because
what did you ask?
what's the shape of Louisiana?
The boot, bro. Quit playing.
Thank you. Thank you. That's the least he has
Oh my God, he did not get
What did
it.
I miss?
Wait, so it's gonna.
What did I miss? Damn, what did I
Yeah,
I
miss?
knew it. He asked him what's the shape of Louisiana,
Yeah,
and
boot
then
is
He
out.
said,
Boots stopped playing,
Yeah,
and
he
he
booted
booted
his
him before he
ass.
even get the word out his mouth.
Hey,
Well, I came up here to
Jay,
say,
stop kicking everybody off the stage. Jesus, he do not play every day. He
good,
just be throwing. You say one do stupid stuff, Jay is about to throw you off the stage.
good. That's how I am. You better not ever make me no mod. I came up here just to say I've been trying to
Don't
figure out
you
what
heard that? Don't give Miss Tisha mine, cause she gonna throw
ever,
everybody.
ever. You won't even have you have to shut your whole life
We
down.
wasn't going forward him. He was just sidetracked. The conversation wasn't going forward. He had nothing to add.
Right, and
It's clear.
that's how I am, Jada. Why are we wasting our time? But what I came up here to say is when I hear D, and I'm not flirting either, but when I hear D, that voice, that is the voice. I
Mm-hmm.
can't make
That
out
That
nothing.
Baltimore,
I can't
masculinity.
even.
That
Baltimore.
It's just
no,
like I can't even make
it's that
out what is.
masculinity.
But what is all that? What is it? Where is this dude from? Where are you from, D? Come on now. Is it the West?
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Listen to his voice. Him and that other guy, Dakota, something like that. You talking about?
Yoda.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, what did I come up here to say quickly? Man, I done lost my doggone trail of thought. Man, delineation. I'll just say this. God bless you all. And delineation. Stop believing that we have any friends. All these people come to this country to collectively and do the same thing. That's why we have so
Yep.
much information. That's why we'll continue to have information over and over and over again. It's the same thing with every group, and they handpick who comes to the country. And I don't believe they represent especially different countries in Africa. I believe the people that come here, they actually have handpicked who comes. It's whoever's not going to work with us. That's who they bring in here. So that's really all I came to say. That, and when I heard his voice, I just woke up. I kind of just woke up
But I just said, oh my gosh, the voice every day, it tickles my heart. I can't help it. I'm done.
Your heart.
Miss
Yes, because
Your
he's so
heart.
Miss
freaking funny. He don't even have to say
Miss
nothing, just start talking, and I start laughing. He could be talking about, gotta go get some toilet paper, but it's the way he sounds when he talks. It's just so funny. Okay,
You
I'm
should
Miss
hear him
done.
when
Miss
he
Guys.
said
Tish
you.
You
When he
know what?
said
This with all
you.
this being said, I hope we still we
Miss
trying to spend as less as we could at Walmart, all these big corporations. If when you see people selling shirts on the side of the streets,
Of
you
course.
you putting money in their pocket because that's like you'll go buy that regular white tee, but you wouldn't buy that tea off a mother that just
Yes,
trying to
we
get a
would. Yes,
brand
we
though.
would.
You
Yes,
know
we
what we
would.
could. You know what we
yes
As a
we
could.
matter of fact,
first
I want us to
wait.
double. Go ahead, Fresh.
Well, it's
I'm just
158 people
we
in here,
don't
so
have a
I'm
lot of
also
street
talking. I'm also
vendors. I
talking to
don't
them
know
too.
what he's talking about. That's not culturally for us. We don't do a lot of street vending. That's not
It
us.
depends on what part of the country you're in. They do have them in
Well,
Wisconsin and
I'm
sometimes
saying, I'm
Yeah,
saying,
well,
I'm
by the
saying
Rosa
we
Parks
shouldn't
station,
be.
the
We
Rosa
don't
We
Parks
have
sh-
them.
station
Yeah.
still got the T-shirt and the sock guy there in front of the food for less. But
but
I
I
Most of
just
digress.
us
Like
got
when it
websites
come
though where
down
we
to
can get
our
our t-shirts.
it's a lot of vendors. I
like
don't
when it
know. It's a whole lot of vendors. I
Yeah,
don't know
but
where
but
y'all
see what
at,
we
but
should.
it's a
Okay,
whole
but
lot
that's
of
not going to
vendors that
really
I see
solve the
daily.
problem.
Yeah,
What we
it's not.
should
But I'm
do.
saying, it's a little. It's a little.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like
no, okay, yeah, you're
minimized.
right. That's the first step. But
and
what
we
we
are
Cause
should
gonna
like,
do
do.
cause
it,
like
and we do do it.
my thing is, what you want to keep putting it in Walmart pocket, or
No,
you
no, no, no,
gonna?
no, no.
No,
This is what. No, I'm saying we should. No,
Let
no,
me
no.
talk
C
to him.
Dub,
Let
you're
me talk to him.
correct.
Let me talk to
But I'm
him.
saying
Let me
we have
talk
to
to him,
do it in a way
Jamal. Go ahead,
that's
Jamal.
most efficient for our people. And what we need to do is have like we have our own Black American Heritage flag. If somebody has a business and is using that and is certified and using that flag, we go to that business. But all those businesses are part of some foundation that is pouring back into our community, either donating to the schools or donating to tutoring or donating to our children learning skills. So that way, every time when we know we're spending our money here, that money is going straight back into it's going to help the business owners, obviously, but they're a part of a foundation that's helping everybody. So our money is going and circulating in our community. You
Okay, let
understand
me
what I'm
just say
saying?
this quickly to this guy. C Dub, I believe it looks like it says C Dub. We do
Mhm.
support those things. So I wouldn't necessarily come with that narrative. I have, and actually, somebody right down the street from my mother's house, he literally bought his house from selling purses on the street to Black people as a vendor. I always stop if I have money on me and buy from people that's selling things out the basket of their vehicle because I know they can't afford the overhead and the shop. We absolutely do that. What I would want to say though is I would encourage us because I just came off another panel early this morning and I was looking at our numbers as far as businesses and they said 11% of us have um, our own business. And we need to start training our children and everybody around us to be able to be self-sufficient without any business. Going to college, whether you want to go or you don't go, you should always have a side business. So when after you get in there and they get ready to use you in corporate America, you already have enough money to pay your mortgage and keep yourself off the streets. So we need to quadruple the amount of businesses we actually have. So I'm in alignment with what you're saying to a certain percent, but don't assume that we don't support vendors. If I see a Black vendor, I'm not going to wait for somebody to with a business and go to them a Black business. I'm going to help that Black vendor, and I'll land there.
No, I'm
Well, I
just saying
think
that because there's 138 people here, and I know some of them still going to Walmart like it's no tomorrow. So that's why I said it. It's good to keep reiterating, or keep putting
well
that
can you
narrative out there.
How we gonna
can
buy our
both of
food?
y'all
How we gonna buy our food
can you
from?
make sure that when you have these conversations that you're being lineage centered? So one thing I didn't hear in the language is making sure you're supporting Black American vendors.
Hey,
Of course,
speaking of that,
I
can
thought
I give
that
a
that's what
can
we
I
in
give a
here for.
commercial? Can I give a commercial? If so.
Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
All right. Well, first and foremost, everybody tap and like the screen, share it, and coming next Haitian Flag Day, I need y'all to come to my food cart, Food Fusion. I'll be serving my hush puppies and catfish dogs. So I'll also be having my fufu funnel cakes, as well as my bushmeat nuggets. So yeah, they're not really bushmeat nuggets, but they hot dog. But it is what it is.
Fresh and J Real, look at No Mo
And then
drove
and then
drove off.
I'm
right,
saying like that.
And then we're gonna then wash it down with some cocoa
I'm sorry.
sweet tea. So yeah,
I
Wash it
lemon
apologize.
cocoa water sweet tea.
with
Yeah.
some goat blood. Yeah.
Oh no, no, no. Hey
Wash it down
guys,
with goat
look at
blood.
Nomo.
That's the Kool Aid. That's the Kool Aid for sure. But
No,
yeah.
Jay, look at Nomo's comment. Look at Nomo's comment and decide if you want to block him or not.
I just muted him. I didn't even see the comment, but I muted him.
He said
I'm
black women
unbothered
need to
either.
invest in BC.
Oh yeah, he out of here. Thank
Block him
you.
for good.
You know, a lot of people try to say like we need immigrants like for numbers and shit like that. And this might be however you might take it. I hope you don't take it that way. But we don't need no fucking body. If you just look at how many ABs really did happen, we don't. That speaks for itself. We just need to build better structures for bigger families to prosper. Because we don't really need no immigrants that. Because we had them anyway, and they still didn't like. They didn't have shit to do with the voting polls or help in any way with that. So.
They've never helped us or contributed to us in any way, shape, form, or
Yeah,
fashion,
exactly.
bro.
Yeah, never. We've helped them. We've helped them. We've enhanced their lives. We've gotten
But
them recognition. All these people, Latinos stuff getting. This is the thing. The Latinos were here during the civil rights movement. They didn't fight for everybody to be equal. They fought to be white, and they lost.
yeah,
Right. Hey, let me get to CMB. CMB, where you from? What's your ethnicity? CMB, come off your mic.
You hear me?
Yeah, where you from? What's your ethnicity?
Yeah, bro. I'm from Somalia, man. I'm from Somalia. What is the topic?
Can you read?
Yeah, I can read. Yeah.
Okay, so read.
The topic is like I was hearing like the black people in America think with the immigrants from Africa hate them, right?
Man, what the fuck?
Read. Use your
Okay.
words.
Get the
Read.
foo-foo out
A
your
B C
mouth.
D E F
Which
G.
people do I?
Read.
Why did so many melanated immigrants hope that black Americans would be next? Okay, yeah. No, I don't think like that. I've never talked in life before now, but this is now too much of just segregation and dividing people. I don't know if you understand that, but anyways, we don't
Where
hate.
you located?
You are our brothers. The situation in
No,
now
we're
with
not your
immigration,
brothers.
yeah.
We're not brothers. We're not connected in any way, sir.
Humanity, we don't connect. We're not connected
No,
with.
no, in no way.
No, you don't need to go that far, right?
I already went that far.
Yeah, it's too
We
far.
are not kin. We are not kinfolk.
No, you don't need to imitate to be like an African accent, but
We are not kinfolk. Okay?
yeah, what?
Where you located, sir?
Where do I look at?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm in New York City.
You in New York?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Well, we not connected to y'all in any kind
He's
of way.
making me hate Robert Glasper, man. I don't want to hear him over Robert Glasper.
big love, brothers. Okay.
All right. Let me get him out of here.
Afro blue.
Man, why did you kick my
Hey,
African brother, man?
cool.
My African brother had something to say. Why did you kick him?
Yeah, nothing to say.
Cool.
He
Mr.
got
Cool.
Jackie. You
Who
see where
said, hey,
Jack?
cool? Who is that?
That was fresh.
Oh, how are you doing, my favorite black American girl? Do you want
Daddy.
to marry an African?
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Oh, shit. I
I'm not a
can't date a
hunter
black
gatherer.
American girl.
I don't
No
know how
one wants
to.
to marry me. What is going on? We used to
Well,
trick you
you'll.
people so quick. We would marry you and you would think we love you, but we only wanted a
Marriage.
green
What's
card.
that? What is that? Marriage.
Oh, shit. I guess I'll stay in Africa.
Yes, please
It
do.
was a green card.
They wanted green card.
I want to ask a question to some of you guys on the stage about our civil rights bills. I want to know, do y'all feel like we were they beneficial, and do we still should we continue to support our civil rights bills today? Originally, I was trying to ask Miss Tish, but she wouldn't. But
I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that they're absolutely beneficial in so many ways. We have a lot of freedoms. We can sue when people do us wrong. We can
exactly.
walk in the store and try a pair of shoes on. They can no longer have places if you want to rent an apartment with holes in the roof, water gushing in, and still rent to you, lead, all these different things. It's just so many different things that we don't even think about that they can no longer do. I mean, there was a time they could put their hands on our woman and they had no repercussions. They couldn't fight back. I mean, they would go to the police and the police wouldn't do anything about it. They would laugh in their face. So we have a lot of protections now that we don't even think about. They absolutely have helped us, but what has happened is, we have people that's undermining those civil rights and taking advantage of the 14th Amendment, and that's what has to be addressed.
That's exactly how I interpret it, because I still see people from other groups utilize our civil rights bills. I will say for my generations, I don't think they were properly taught. In my state, I watched newly arrived people put through civics courses on our civil rights bills. And I even watched the Department of Education raise a very good concern. But because of our Title V or Title VI civil rights bills, they were able to push back. Even though they were right, they pushed back. And so because of that bill, and I think it's also because how the funding come down, once a claim has been submitted, they have to send the money back to the federal government so that they can reallocate it properly. So a lot of them, they don't want to go through that, and so they'll just go ahead and settle out. So the Department of Education caught the fraud from the Somali community long time ago, and they took our civil rights bills and utilized it in order to make them release the funds.
I
It's
feel
crazy. Go ahead.
I kind of feel like it's been a double-edged sword because everything you said was absolutely true. But the problem was at the same time that they passed the civil rights bill, we saw most of the black wealth, most of our black businesses leave our neighborhoods at the exact same time. So yes, the civil rights bill was necessary. I'd never say that it wasn't. But we got to acknowledge the fact of how they use the language to harm us. And that's why I appreciate what's being done in this delineation movement, because y'all are tightening up on the language.
Exactly. But that doesn't mean that they're not beneficial. That didn't prove anything. It just proves that they took it away from us.
Absolutely. That's what I
Mhm.
was kind of alluding to with the gentleman earlier, is that I don't disagree with you, but it's a nuanced conversation. You have to look at both sides of it. And you're absolutely right. We did gain a lot of advantages from it, but we lost because we didn't tighten up on the language, because the Civil Rights Bill was supposed to be specifically for us. When they opened it up to everybody else, when you make everybody else a minority, we still end up at the bottom. And they used that to justify keeping us at the bottom. When they say minority,
Yeah, let's go. Because there's a book um, called The Secret Relationships Between the Small Hats and Black American Community. What we don't talk about is after those civil rights bills was passed, a lot of those small hats, our community and them start clashing because they saw them not only changing language but also benefiting more than we were, and that's when they started to, I guess, caution themselves. But I still feel like there was, like you said, it was something going on both sides.
That's what prompted MLK to do his speech when he was talking about, we coming to get our checks because
Yes,
he
that's
started
where I was
realizing all
going with
that.
this, Jay. Go ahead.
Yeah, and his letter with his frustration with the moderate liberal white
Yep.
liberal, he was, I'd rather deal with the staunch Ku Klux Klan member than to deal with the white progressive liberal telling me to wait, because at least the Ku Klux Klan member will righteously, or not righteously, but outrightly rebuke me and stay in his ways, versus the person that's telling me who's supposed to understand where I'm coming from to tell me wait, not right.
But this guy Hot Tub is so right. We lost so many hundreds of billions of dollars, and the way they came in and flooded our communities out and went in and did, I forgot what it's many what was that country, that state where they BOMB those businesses and everybody had to go. What is that
Tulsa,
called?
the Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa, but
Yeah,
it
yeah,
happened. It did more than Tulsa. We just talked
Yeah.
about. We just used
that's
that
what I
one
was
as
trying
the
to say.
yeah.
That's what I was trying to say. Multiple Tulsas. We always bring that one up. And so we lost so much. And then you think about the fact that I'm hearing that they put they place highways right in the middle of our communities and neighborhoods. And then I heard they did, and just cut all those businesses out, and they never recovered. And then there was another state, I don't know if it was somewhere in Louisiana, where they did something where like something like 20 or 30,000 Black people lost their homes. I was just listening to it on one of these
Like
social
eminent
media.
domain and all that kind of stuff.
Probably yeah. That
No, it was worse than that. They did something. It
through
was
redlining.
no, it was something
No,
like
it
they did
wasn't through
something as
redlining.
damaging as Tulsa. Like it was like a BOMB, but it was something similar to that, and they never talk about it. Then
What was
Oh,
Philly?
Are you
Talking
talking about
about
Oscarville?
I think she's talking about tyranny that was placed on another community. We only talk about Tulsa that had the BOMB. I mean the BOOM that been dropped, but she's saying that it was
yeah,
another place where it happened,
that happened
and
in
we don't.
Philly. The
Is that what
Moors
you're talking about,
movement.
Miss Love in
Yeah,
Philly?
yes, fresh. And yeah, and then Philly is another one where they dropped the BOMBs on that community. But this other community, it was like 20 or 30,000 people lost their homes. It was a massive number. They never recovered. And all this, and then all this wealth that was just transferred over to the white tea community with all the land. They said they got millions of acres of land. And
Yeah. Mhm.
they
Well,
still have it. They're still alive. They're still living on it. So
Yep, that was one of the things we looked at in comparison to the wealth gap. So yeah, we watched the wealth transfer that passed down. So yeah, that recent one and how huge it was. Yeah, so that was part of looking at the wealth gap.
you brought up the small hat community, and that raised a valid point. When you look at minorities and the levels of minorities, you have YT women at the top, but you still talking the YT. You have the Jewish people, they're still YT. Even the LGBT, vast majority are YT. So they found a way to empower themselves on every level and classify themselves as minorities to gain the benefits that was specifically fought for by us and for us.
Great, and I do feel like they created most of these buffer classes. And maybe it was to prompt themselves up in a way where they can fight back, right? Because a lot of times that's who's using our civil rights bills. It's the small hats. And what was that? Last year, they recently became minorities themselves. So they didn't figured out a way to basically extract from both sides.
That's a hallmark of YT supremacy to play both sides of the coin. That's what they
let
do.
me let me say this, and I'm going to drop. I'm talking to the chat now, to my brothers and sisters. A lot of times you'll hear people come up, oh, the Latino community, don't worry about us. We beating out everybody. We beating y'all out. We didn't beat y'all out. And we ain't been here as long. And, blah, 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 blah. And I said this before. I don't know if I said it on this chat or not. Um, the Latino community represents, I Googled it, 30 different countries. Black Americans, we represent, let's just call ourselves a country, one country in the U.S. So they have they said that they contribute 800 billion to the GDP. They're comparing 30 different countries to the one black group. So when the people come up flexing, telling you how great they are, they this, they that, they the other, it's like 30 different people fighting fresh. They got 30 to 1, and that's how they do us. And even with that number, I went through all these other ethnicities, Asians and all these other groups. And the Asians, the same thing. It's different countries involved in there. They're always comparing huge numbers to one. And when you hear Latino, automatically the normal person would just think Hispanic. They're talking about 30 different countries, and they're comparing 32 different countries combined to against the one black group and telling you that they're beating us out, and they're not. We still have over double. We could still bring in over double what they bring in. And I want you all to always remember that when people are sitting up bragging and telling you all that they're doing so much better than us, it's 30 to 1. I'm going to drop and let somebody else talk. Thank you all for letting me up.
Hey, can I say something?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Cool. We're gonna go to Cool and then Tyron and Sam and then Samuel. Go ahead, Cool.
Yeah,
Thanks. I love us.
yeah, I love us. I guess this is a new account. I went to see it. It wasn't no numbers, no friends, no followers, but I get it. It is the way it is on this side of the world. Anywho,
You talking about me? I
yeah,
have like 500 followers on this account.
when I clicked it, it says 0. I don't know what's going on. Did anybody else
Let me
check?
look at it right now. Hold on a second. It won't pull up. It's telling me to. Okay, I
You
just
might.
looked at this one yesterday, and it's 500, and I have another one. It has probably like 30 or 40, and I
That's
have another
crazy.
one at
Well,
5,000.
you probably right.
Yeah, I
You know,
see
it's
it.
just
I see the numbers.
you
What is my
do. That's
number?
Yeah, it said 470. Hold on, let me
damn. That's
look.
Yeah.
crazy. Why wouldn't let me see?
470 and then 403 followers.
Cause
I
they
just
don't
want.
like you and they don't want you digging in my business. That's why you can't see nothing.
What's up,
I don't
Candace?
blame them.
Peace.
TikTok know what they doing. Look at God work. Won't he do it?
No, you
I
won't.
remember you getting all smart with me one day. Yeah, go ahead
All
and apologize. I remember you.
right. If I got smart, you said some shit for me to get smart
No,
about.
I didn't. No, I didn't. You
Everybody on here.
came at me talking about that's what I hate. Yeah. I said, Negro, you better be glad I can't come through this screen.
It wouldn't have did
Shoot.
nothing but got your feelings hurt. That's all.
Oh my gosh. You don't know. I fought all 8 of my brothers. You think you something special? Shoot.
Hey,
I used
I
to
ain't
throw
worried
them
about
jokers
your
around like
brother.
it wasn't nothing. They
Your
6'5",
brother.
6'6" now, but when I was throwing them around, they was like I was like what? I was about 5'9", and they was about 5 years, 6 years old. If I can body slam them, I can body slam you. You ain't
Boy,
nothing special.
that shit ain't gonna happen. But I appreciate you though.
Yeah.
Check this out. They can't the immigrants that are coming over here, right? Nobody comes to America anymore and start from the bottom. They got caucuses. They got shit set up. They got doors. They got literature. They prepare them to win before they even get in the country. That's not our story. We all started from the fucking bottom and we still do it today. We don't get no hand up on nothing. So all this shit they're achieving, try achieving that shit with the motherfucking crack of the foot on your neck and you bend over with your back doing all kind of free labor and shit. Achieve that. Come in here and start with no money for a damn near 200 years or whatever it takes. Start with nothing and then
And
brag
no
about what you
rights. And
fucking
no
doing. And
rights.
no
And no
rights, no
rights.
nothing. Yeah, do that shit.
You know what?
And
What else?
anything you make goes to somebody else. And then your land gets passed down to somebody else. And then bring everybody else over here and put them in front of you.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's what I was
then
gonna
then
say. And
tell
it's
us you
more,
winning. Go ahead,
yeah, it's
Fresh. I'm
more
sorry.
egregious than that because I was listening to, I don't know if you guys read this book, but it's called the Black Tax. Have you guys read that?
I
The
think we
Color of
listened to
Law.
it.
I think it
The
was The
color of
Color of
law.
Law.
Yeah, we listened to it like during one of the book clubs.
Mm-hmm. So in The Color of Law, it talks about how how the government or these different people, these parties have been, how they utilize our resources, our cut, right? How they dip into our pot. They've been reallocating funding WARs with money that was supposed to go
to our community. Even with that language, this is another reason why they changed that language so that they can be able to reallocate resources from us to other groups. So it's even more egregious because it's our money. And I remember when I first got into this movement, and there's this extraordinary activist that I love named Connie Collins, right? She told me if I
Damn,
got
30
paid,
seconds.
you're not. Listen, she said, if you had $100, this is what the government do. You worked, you got your money. This is your portion of the money, and they take $100 and they divvy out your portion to everyone else. You work for it. It is your money, and it's supposed to be for your upliftment. But they take the money and allocate it elsewhere. And then I feel like Minnesota is like a case study right now for how this stuff plays out, because that money that was stolen, those are programs that came from our civil rights bills. Those are programs that was meant for our community explicitly. And yeah, they were able to tap into it due to them being able to check the box.
I believe you, Dr. Fresh. I believe you. I just heard someone on one of these lives on with D. Actually, it was D, and a lady had started crying on the phone, talking about how she was trying to get some money for her child, and when she found for college or to finish her doctorates or become a doctor, and she said she was able to actually go on live on the the big screen and just show all these different programs they have for all the immigrants. And when she tried to get something for her child, they had nothing. And that just aligns with what you're saying. I'm gonna go ahead and drop. And Cool Wad, anytime you want to get body slam, keep talking slick. All right, you all go ahead and drop me and have a good one.
All right, thanks, I love us. All right, we're gonna go to Tyron, then Samuel. After that, the panel will be open, y'all.
Go ahead.
So
Drop me.
all right, I got you. Thanks for coming up. I love us.
I
Thank
came in
you.
when y'all still talk about the civil rights bills. Civil rights bill or whatever. But y'all still y'all off for that now?
Yeah, well, for now, the panel gonna open up once I get to the last two new people on the panel. So Tyron, are you available to speak? All right, we're gonna go to Samuel, and then we'll try Tyron again. All right, Samuel, are you available to speak?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on with you, man?
Yeah, I've been enjoying your live. Yeah, I just it was you all was talking about the towns. I just wanted to try to give a little input on that also, and y'all was talking about the small hats. First about the towns being destroyed and everything by the YT people. You also have to take into account too, a lot of these sundown towns that we see, hundreds of them, they was once black towns that was basically infiltrated by the YT people. Basically, the BLKs ran out, and the YTs basically just took their whole towns over.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's on
I'm
record.
gonna do
And
some research on that. Okay.
yeah, and also the one of the things why the small hat people are doing so well is that they getting reparation. They still getting reparation, and that's why it's so hard for BLK to compete with the small hats, because they received their reparation,
Right. Yeah.
but they do everything they can to stand in our way to prevent us from getting our reparation. And so we never play on we never start off on an even playing field. We always have to start off several layers back, and so and then it seemed like the people that we're competing with, or that want to compete with us, seem like they wear a blindfold, that they don't see that they starting off way ahead of us, in terms of programs and things that they have, and like the lady said earlier, they got support from other states, other countries. It's just us. but yet we still on a global stage. We still outperform multiple states all combined together. But people don't want to look at it that way. They try to look at us, as a one, and not that they look at themselves as that they don't have, like, let's say for instance Africa. You have 52 countries in Africa, and the 50 countries in Africa, and you have all these different people come from Africa, from different states, but yet they want to say, "Oh, we're doing so much better than Black Americans." You got 50 goddamn countries that you coming from, and it's just us. You shouldn't compare yourself to us.
Even when they do, they're not comparing to us. They 54 countries, but none of them work
Yeah,
together. So
54.
that's a moot
Yeah,
point.
that's true. Yeah, you're right about that. Until they come here, then they claim that they try to work.
Excuse me, Mr. Samuel. D, did you just see
Yes.
what happened to the person who came up? So he dropped down, but then I looked and see where he was going, and then he just disappeared out of the viewers.
I'm driving.
No,
I'm
not
not
you,
All right,
paying
hold on.
Sammy.
What
I
you
was
say?
talking
Hold on.
to
What
the
you say,
host.
Fresh? I had
Did
just
you
got a
see
phone call
that
about that.
guy that just came up?
Yeah, I accepted him up, and then he just he
He
just
just
didn't connect.
disappeared. Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah.
And then when he went down, I looked in the viewers
Hold
to
on.
invite him back up,
Hold on,
and he
real quick,
just
man.
disappeared.
Right in the
Hold on.
middle of that man's build.
That's all right. We got to moderate. I'll see what's going on.
All right, yeah, hold on. Now, I Fresh had got a phone call. You said I did see him come up, and then he disappeared. What happened after that? Okay. Yeah, I
Sure.
don't know,
I'm not
Fresh.
sure. We'll look into it
Okay.
later.
He might have had a change. He might have changed his mind at the last minute. Sometimes people do that.
Hey, Mr. Samuel, you can go.
Yeah, yeah. And with our HBCU schools, I mean, I can't describe the word. I am so disappointed in my HBCU schools, and the reason why I'm so disappointed is because we're not hiring our own. We're hiring so many Africans, and it's obvious. You take an African who claim that they want to work with us, or or they like us or whatever. But as soon as you rub them the wrong way, the true color is going to come out, and they're going to tell you who they are. And the first thing going to come out their mouth is, "I didn't come here for unity. I come here to try to make it. Try to make money. I didn't come here for you all to brotherhood with you. I came here to make money and to send it back home." But if you piss them off enough, they will come out with that. And what I'm saying about the HBCU schools, and why I say it's so sad, is because we know how they think. We know we're waking up now. We see what the Africans are about. And it's sad that all these Africans are in our HBCU schools having that influence over our young minds, our young black people. And it's sad that they have that type of able to have that type of influence over us at these HBCU schools, when we know for a fact that they don't like us, and they try to push this pan-African stuff on us, because when I was at HBCU school, Africans tried to do it to me. Even my advisor, I was in mathematics when I was doing my dissertation, when I was doing my master's. He always talked about Pan-African, he would talk about that more than we discussed my thesis. So you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? There just should be it needs to be a change. It needs to be a change. But
Well,
it's just an awareness, though.
you know, all of these immigrants that make that statement, because I could probably pull a comment video from every single group, every individual, every single group that has credited their own efforts and results to solely them coming into the country and doing it on their own. But the truth is that your mic is hot. But the truth is that these immigrants have done it all because of the choices and decisions and actions we taken. And if you can't eliminate that and get it from the dirt, get it from the mud, as they say, then you ain't do nothing on your own. And just stepping into this country, even if you're completely homeless, you're still benefiting. If you weren't, you wouldn't remain here. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of you being able to, even if that benefit is you being able to foresee, something you're going to do in the future, opportunity, et cetera, let alone the benefits they get. Because I doubt any immigrant really comes to this country and starts off homeless. I've never seen a person from India homeless. I've never seen a person from China homeless, and let alone many other groups living in the city. But I wanted to play this real quick. Lost. You have lost. You lost. The mistake that you made is you let us in the first place. And that's the thing with brown people. I'm going to say this as a brown person. There's a lot of us. Like a lot. There's like 1.2 billion in India. There's more than 200 million in Pakistan. There's like 170 million in Bangladesh. Those are just the people there. I'm not even talking about the folks who are expats or immigrants. There's a bunch of us. And we breed. We're a breeding people. And the problem is you let us in 1965. There were a few of us beforehand. But once you let one of us in, you know what happens with brown folks? Our grandmother comes, our grandfather comes, our uncle comes, our aunt comes, our cousin comes, our second cousin comes, our third cousin comes. Then we have kids, a bunch of kids. And then guess what? Some white women, the Western civilization women, the pure women, the American women, quote unquote, the Rust Belt women, the real women, they like some of us brown folks. We don't take them. They come to us. You've lost. You have a lot. So, he said 1965, man. Civil Rights Act 1964. Civil Rights Act 1964, y'all wonder why I'm completely against that. There's another reason that nobody had mentioned. I don't know if it was mentioned when I was gone, but that you can't use the reason why you can't use race when we had the reparations bill and stuff and why it got shot down. They said was because of what was enacted in the Civil Rights Act 1964. You can't. That's discrimination, by race and so forth. And we were solid. We could have used race without 1964, and nobody else would have been able to qualify because we would have had the same prerequisites we got and we've discussed today, which is you had to have been in this country for X amount of years or at this period of time. Plus, we would have been validated throughout as simple as census records and social security numbers. But make no mistake, I never said civil rights bills plural. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 is something that we should have never been for. And if we was going to be for it, should have been we should have been more critical about the outcomes or what potentially could happen and not blindsided. So for me, living in today's day and age, I can look back and acknowledge that. Unfortunately, some people can't. And that's all right, but that's where I'm at with it.
Let me kind of build off of what you just said and to a certain degree what Samuel was saying as well. One thing we do got to be honest about is that, yes, though, everything you said happened, but we've had a whole congressional black caucus that failed us. That's their job. That was their job to tighten up the language. That was their job to make sure that we benefited off of that. We have been sold out for at least 2 generations by our black politicians. A lot of them, we can't just blame just the immigrants for it. A lot of the foundational black politicians were complicit in that. That's how you end up with schools full of HBCU full of black immigrants, not just black immigrants.
And
It's a
that's
lot of
what
Latino.
right. Those are the people that they were talking about when they said Negroes to small hats. Those are
Yes.
Negroes.
Yeah, I'm not. My statement wasn't against Samuel. Mine was a continuation of. I had to get off. I had to make a phone call.
Oh no, I just building off
Yeah,
of what you said, bro. I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
disagreeing with nothing you said on this panel. Now I don't want you to think that. So if it's coming across like that, that's not my intention. I'm just
Nah,
agreeing.
you good. Nah, I don't want anything I'm saying to be something that anybody views in opposition to somebody else, something else said. I'm just adding my 2 cents. You
Uh,
know,
somebody said down in the panel that 80% of the CBC is immigrants. That is a fact now, but I'm a little older. I remember when it was those ratios weren't there, and it was just our politicians. I'll give you an example of one. John Lewis. John Lewis was in the civil rights movement, and John Lewis spent most of his time in Congress selling us out. Maxine Waters sold us out. Uh, uh,
Maxine Waters is not one of us, though, from what I understand. Is that not correct?
I, from my understanding, she is, but I'm not. Don't hold me to that. But we just got. My point being, we got to hold that political class accountable, especially the older ones. We got to be honest about the fact that the boomer generation sold all of us out. They did. They traded all our gains for interracial sexual access. That's point blank. Period. And that has to be
They were
said and
groomed,
established.
man. They were groomed. That's how the whole. I mean, that's how the civil rights got brought into this because somebody wanted to bring in the accolades of this of the Democrats, and I was like, yo, um, our grandparents, we have to acknowledge it. They were groomed, man. Look, in order for you to transition from the Republican Party, like, go from Republican, switch over, and to do that for many decades after mountains of evidence, has to take a level of grooming. You know what I'm saying? Has to take, and the grooming I was highlighting was exactly, you mentioned one of them, sexual liberation. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
say smexual, smexual.
Yeah, sexual liberation. I already got booted twice. I learned my yes, sexual liberation, and then you have the let's not forget the social benefits. Food stamps and Section 8 and all of that, and the requirements for that to not have a man in a home. I mean, that wasn't as massive outside of the cities, but it was a big hit. That set us back generations. Oh, and then people keep, and I say this is just like this every time. People keep talking about 1994 crime bill, but what about the 1986 3-to-1 mandatory minimums? You know what I'm saying? 1 gram of crack was equivalent to 300 grams. 1 gram was equivalent to 300 grams of cocaine.
But
It's
in
close
each
to,
one, in both of those crime bills, you
yeah.
had the whole CBC that
Yep.
co-signed those bills when they could have stopped it. They could have
Well,
tightened
well,
up the
well, well,
language.
well, well, we can't be. I mean, you was around during this time, but you correct me
Yeah,
if I'm wrong. Black people were calling for something to be done.
that's a
They
that's a
just didn't know. They didn't know they were going to be. They didn't know that the lower, quote unquote lower hanging fruit in the drug game was, what I'm saying. They didn't know that was going. They was going to go
You
after.
say
They thought they was going to go
rugs.
after the
You gotta say
cartels.
rugs too. You gotta say rugs.
Okay, rugs. Gruds, the Gruds game. I think I need you to say it backwards, like that to be, But anyway, that's all I had to say, man. I just wanted to come back and say that. I see the room had got quieter. Came up here to take the opportunity. Yo, you there, host?
Yeah, I'm
Shout
here. I
out
got a
to
phone
guys
call.
who give
Man, them phone calls are crazy, man. I didn't know they kicked you for phone calls, man.
yep.
but yeah, there's just like I say, we got to take some self, and I think we have over the years taken self accountability for our political class selling us out. So that's what now we're living in the out from the 70s and 80s. So, and we're taking the best steps we can to correct that, identifying where the problems lie, and a lot of our problems do lie in mass immigration. And we got to be. I think we're being very honest about that and taking the proper steps to correct the mistakes that were made in the past.
Well, somebody mentioned and this is where I'm gonna bring this up too. Somebody mentioned the school to prison pipeline. Um, there's always been a school to prison pipeline in the black communities. That's not true. Yes, we've always been targeted, but when it comes down to like the systemic practice of school to prison pipeline, you have to remember that before before the 1960s, and this is another thing. Like, I just outright say yes, I'm for segregation. Because the way that people are pivoting the desegregation conversation or integration conversation is that we need to socially and environmentally, within the physical realm of things, we were calling to be integrated. No, we weren't. We was talking about economic integration. We was talking about fair access to funding, school funding, and other programs. Um, that conversation shifted into communities being diversified, quote unquote, aka gentrified, and all that stuff. That happened as a symptom of integration. I mean, what do you think was going to happen in a community, in a world, or in a country where a majority of upper class communities, I'm saying, limited the people that come in the community by price shifting, as well as already having a higher expense than black communities. Well, any immigrant that comes to community is going to go to where they can save the most and they could make a better living. And of course, they're going to go to where they can learn how to survive on bare minimums. And who knew how to do that better than us? And that caused a dysfunctional system. Like, when we talk about bartering, you bartered with people that you knew can do the work, could do the job, or had the goods and services, right? But when you have immigrants come into the community and they're being prioritized and they're not facing discrimination, they have an unfair vantage point. They're basically the competitors with their hands in your back pocket, as well as with support from external communities that they're not being discriminated against. So I say that to
Matt,
say
you
that,
got a
like,
hot mic, Matt Real.
yeah, I say all that to say that immigrants, yes, has always been a problem, in many cases the problem. And we could go as far, we could go further back than Homestead Act, but we could go there. The Homestead Act, and how many different um, funding opportunities came out of it. Right, that triggered them to get free education, over millions of dollars, billions of dollars, excuse me, of grants and land. So yes, I 100% stand on what I said about the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
All right, cool. Let me get to Nat Real, Nat Real, Nat.
I
You just
think I
came
think
up on
that's
the panel.
natural.
Let me see.
It's
Natural.
it's, it's not spelled like natural, but I think
Oh,
that's what
okay,
she was
yeah, I
getting at.
see. Natural. Can you hear me, ma'am? You just came on the panel.
Natural sweetness.
I just sent you a mic. Come off your mic, ma'am. Maybe she came up here by mistake. I don't know.
Well, a quick answer to Ray in the comments: yes, yes, I do think that we were better off when we were segregated. Our birth rates was high, our marriage rates was high, our ownership, our land ownership, everything that was positive was high. Crime rates were low.
Yeah, but everything wasn't so good though. Just in them segregated situations.
What?
Well, the quality of some of the businesses wasn't so pristine. It was
I
kind of
mean,
like,
what business other than white folks who get money, handed to them? When you start a business, how many of y'all started a business before, right? You start a business in your house. I mean, ain't no worse than that. I'm just, I'm saying, comparing it to today, is if who we were today, right? If All right, I'll put it this way, and I'm gonna be very quick on this one. If we were still segregated today, the maturation rate that we already can validate, that we acquired, would have been through the roof. We would have been our own world economic power today. Could you imagine the amount of resources that we would have at our, like and within each of our communities, the conversations that we would have, the evolution that we would have in organization?
I just think we should have kept our money segregated, but integration should have happened because nobody should be just confined to certain areas. You should be able to move freely about wherever you would like to move around.
That's why
No,
this is
no,
a
no,
nuanced.
no, no. All right, so
Let me come
segregation.
in real quick, man. That's why this is a nuanced conversation. It's not a black or white. I agree that we made the gains we made under a segregation were huge. I mean, everything he said was spot on in that perspective. What our ancestors or our elders were asking for was economic integration. And that's the part that everybody leaves out. They weren't asking to go into your establishments and be able to drink from your water fountain. We were asking for the same resources in our education system that you have. Everything you have, we wanted the full rights of being an American citizen. Somehow the language got flipped. And that's where the problem came in. Did we gain some things from integration? Yes, we did. And that is a fact. We did gain some levels of protection from integration, but the negatives kind of outweigh that in a lot of points.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be hard for that picture to be painted. Integration, to me, 100%. I don't see no benefits. I see more victims, and lack of enforcement. We're talking about us having our own police. We're talking about us having our own organizations, our own
But you're still
education.
talking about people with that really didn't have all of the resources. Yeah, the money we had, it would circulate, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. So it was
We
a
we
lot of shit that was ran down in them situations. It wasn't like this beautiful thing just because we were just segregated off to ourselves. That's what I'm
No,
trying to
we
say.
were on the brink. We were on the brink of. We were. That's what we were fighting for. That's what was needed, was equivalent access to resources, economic
Yeah, so
resources.
we on the same page right
So,
there.
but
Then. Yeah.
but see, that's the thing. I'm not talking about segregation in the way it was. I'm talking about segregation in a way in the way of the way it was maturing. As far as we never asked to be physically integrated. We were asking for economic integration,
Right. Yeah.
a fair share of access to resources, right? Because we in education we are performing better. Our literacy rates, everything you can look at, literacy rates. Our literacy rates are freaking, well, just this country alone, but Black Americans are even, the literacy rate of this country is terrible. But let's just stay on Black Americans, right? Our literacy rates are not up to the same standard that they used to be. Um, there's other countries that are sending their people here that are prioritizing these particular things where, and they're being funded to do so, right? They're getting paid. Like they're getting paid by even the workforce. Like they codify as workforce development. They're getting access to these things, and I know y'all remember the guy. I'm not going to name drop on him, but Office of New Americas. Then you have like 7 other departments that's exactly like Office of New Americas, just in different names, right?
Yeah.
So, but what we were asking for was that for our community. Instead, what they did is they said, "All right, what we'll do is we'll bring more people in, and and they will be the drivers of our workforce. The new jobs that's coming for all the new industries and so forth, and we'll allow these other groups of people to suck on the suck on the breastises of the government funding. You know what I'm saying? So that will allow them to bypass, all the shift in life and everything. But there was never no escape. There was never no exit route. The exit route was, if you have to survive and you latch on to something that we consider illegal, we're going to prosecute you and we're going to target you first. And then we're going to use the taxpayers' money and use you as an excuse to demand more taxes from the new immigrants that come into the country and the old people that was already here. And then, of course, privatized prison system and all of that came. And then you talk about school to prison pipeline and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But prior to all of that, what's the school to prison pipeline if you're if our own community are the educators and we're training our kids to to dissemble and to dismantle and disarm everything that we know is against us, right? They took the Brown versus Board of Education. They took our school teachers out of jobs. It wasn't the white teachers.
Repeat the move, man. They pulled the same trick on us twice. You mentioned that.
More than twice. Well, like I would say about 7 times.
Hear me out, because you mentioned the 1864 Immigration Act,
That's
and
the only one we needed.
listen, but right behind that, they laxed the immigration policy to bolster their numbers. They did the same thing again after the 1964 Civil Rights Bill. They turned around in 1965 and dropped the Immigration Act. That's the same exact thing. The only difference in them two is that after the 1964 Civil Rights Bill, they had access to our economy, to our dollars, because we integrated into them. They didn't integrate into us. So now the black dollar that was circulating in our community, 6, 7 times, immediately left our community. Then on top of that, you dropped immigrant groups, gave them preferential loans, preferential grants to establish businesses in our community. Because remember, they could not establish their businesses in white communities. That's why you see so many Asian stores and Arab stores in the black community, because they do not allow them still to this day into their communities. So
Well, I'll throw this at you. I would say before you even spend a dollar, 33% of your
Hey,
money
hold
is
on. And
taken
after
out.
your man's, I'm gonna go to It's Real. That's a new person on the
I'll
panel.
just
So
I'll
go
just
ahead.
I was just chiming in on he. I wanted him to finish.
now I want everybody to have a chance, so I'll land right there.
All right, yeah, we can come back to that. It's Real. Where you from? What's your ethnicity?
I guess I'm definitely foundational, but I don't know what term we've landed on. But I know who my people is. I'm in Texas. I'm 46. My dad was born in 1926 and had me late, and when he was like 56, right? He had me late. 50, actually, you can see me when he was 54. But he was born in 1926, so we got history here for a long time. I just want to say this. I swear, Matumbi, you be getting it in. Keep it up, bro, and keep these panels alive. But I just want to break it down with
Thank
what
you.
the real facts are. You're welcome, bro. And like I say, the real facts are very simple. Um, we are the only people that are capable of shutting the whole thing down. Right now, we're in a position to do something that's earth shattering. And I'm gonna go and say it like this: uh, what you gentlemen were talking about is racism, right? And if all of these bills that get passed, both of these numbers or whatever, still they're basing it on black and white. At this point in time, we've already garnered the respect and admiration of the whole world. They know who we are. Like all of the propaganda about like don't like these people, that don't work. That's not gonna never work again, right? The world loves us. Okay, so ever since we've been put on the world stage, it's a wrap. All that propaganda is over. So now, with the delineation movement, what we got going on is super powerful because at the end of the day, what we're saying is we are American. We are as American can be, 100%. And the claim is undeniable, right? So what's about to happen right now is that whoever's in power, doesn't matter who they are, they're gonna start having to back this up. So they need to. They're gonna start lining up with, okay, America's in America. Now, there's a counterpart. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it real. Like my man said, I agree with the segregation thing, but I believe there needs to be caveats because this is America, right? Like we're not trying to like take the land and change it the name and all that other stuff. We just need what's due. We built America, and we are like proud Americans. We're proud of what we built. They can't shame us no more. All of that stuff. Nothing else is gonna work, right? And now that we're standing on business, the only thing that can happen, as long as we stand on this right here and don't let nobody stop us from delineating, the only thing that can happen from that is they're gonna have to identify what it is to be an American. And now all of a sudden, it's absolutely us. And the other teams are going to have to fall in line. So all of that, all of those Ellis Island folks and all, they're scared, they're shook. But everybody before that, they're what they call themselves heritages or heritage Americans. I'm with that. So yes, let's get our heritage Americans, white tea folks or whatever, if they want to call themselves whatever, however they want to identify. They American as American can be. They can trace their roots back to Christopher Columbus before America was America. Okay, they American. We're American. America is black and white, and yes, we can segregate, but at the same time, that we have schools for black children only or black American children only, and we have the our counterpart schools for their children only. They teach however the curriculums they teach or whatever. They can teach whatever they want. We can teach however we want and whatever manner we choose. But there should also still be the public schools where we can go and integrate and you can live amongst, because we're just gonna we don't want to preach no more hate. We don't want to uphold. I don't want to say it if you can say that like that, but like we don't want none of that stuff to persist, right? So that's not what we're saying here. We're not divisive or anything like that, saying that we want to be able to segregate. We want to say we are a treasured people. We are a unique and individual treasured people. This is America, and we absolutely put America first, and there should be nothing wrong with that. If you can come over here from another country and prance around with your flags from another country, you have no right to speak on us being proud to be American. Like you have absolutely should shut the fuck up if that's how you feel about it, or burn your other country flag, right? Because at this point in time, there's only one way this can go. We're in a unique position to literally shut down the whole foundation for whatever that racism is, because like once we delineate, like no matter how they try to be like the black and white thing, will be us. And if they want to continue to call us black or whatever, like I said, however, whatever title we land on, at the end of the day, whatever they end up calling us, it's different for whoever else, for Nigerians and any other African or melanated people. They won't be able to say that they're us, and
Can I
they
can
won't
I,
be able to.
can I
Yeah,
build
go
off of
ahead. Let me land
something?
because I'm running down. Yeah.
Can I build off of something you said, man? Because you brought up an interesting point. Because that foundational word is found in foundation of Black America is whooping everybody's ass so much so that even the YT side of the house is splintering because they're scrambling to define what YT, who is actually YT in this country. And that plays into it. That's why I say I want to build off of what you said, because that plays into our advantage as well. Once we establish who is supposed to be here, and that is going on right now, you're right, the delineation movement is ongoing. Now it's going to the courts as to who are actually Americans. That's going to splinter them, which gives us an opportunity to build ourselves and our community and to push for our reparations, because whoever comes out on that other side, our stance is still rooted in our historical claim for justice, which is our reparations. Y'all fight it out amongst yourselves. Whoever win, you still owe us. So I agree with what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying at all.
And
I just
I want to land on this really quick, and then I'm done. For reparations, just to speak on that, this is my whole thing. I don't think we'll get like cash money. I don't think we should look for cash money. I think people will fight back for that. They're
Oh
not gonna
no,
want. They're
you
gonna say we.
tripping. It's
Hold on. Just
definitely
let me
it
land.
got
Let me
to be
land.
cash, bro.
go ahead, go ahead.
But
We'll
hold
let
on.
you
Let
finish.
me
Go
land.
ahead.
This is what I think we should be fighting for. That's undeniable. That they won't be able to reject. I think that they should make us a protected class of people. Like give us protected, undeniable status, the same as some other people that they then gave that status to. And Marcus says national treasures, American treasures, and bro, and
What do you think
leave
that
us
comes
unpeated.
with? What do you think that comes with if you get protected class status? It comes with cash. If
But
it
we don't
ain't
fight. But we
protected,
don't
if
fight for
it
the cash. That's what I'm saying.
ain't,
You don't fight for the
No,
cash.
we do. We
No,
do
anything.
fight for cash as part of it. It's part of it. It's the major part of it.
Anything other than cash payment is a non-starter. We
Right.
start with cash. That should be the starting point, and everything else that comes along with it that we ask
Trust
for
me.
is icing on the cake.
Trust me. I believe we deserve it. But my point of view is that if we get unimpeded, like just unimpeded, we just have the option to never get stopped again. But we gonna bubble anyway.
That's
That's my
That wouldn't be
point.
enough. That
that's a
wouldn't be enough.
non-tangible, bro.
And that
We
wouldn't
need
be repair.
tangibles.
Yeah, that wouldn't be repair. Reparations is
Exactly.
repair for hundreds of years. Like, come on now. So yeah, protected status is a must, but cash is a must as well, and
It,
along with a bunch of other things.
it starts with the cash payment. Like I say,
Yes,
everything
sir.
else is as
Trust me.
extra.
Trust me. I understand what I'm saying. Is look,
Well,
if
hold
we fight
on.
the cash
What about
payments
all
up
right? So
front.
let's just hold on. Wait a minute. People that was in Japanese internment camp, they got cash. People in
Oh, I
Guam,
understand that.
they got cash. So the
I
government,
understand
well,
that.
they gotta give us cash as well.
I understand that. Trust me, I do. But what I'm saying is the way to get to cash is to not say give us cash. It's to say make us a protected people, and the cash is going to come because because look, we can claim that we need to be
That's
protected from
not true. That's
atrocities.
still not. That's still not true.
Okay, I still
That's
feel
not
like
true.
there's steps. No,
Yeah,
I could be
that's
wrong. I'm
yeah.
just saying that's
No,
my
because
point of
this is
view.
the step is because we're no longer acquiescing to the plight and the feelings of white people. Because just as you said, we are as American. We are American. We are the epitome, the definition of American. So if they want to fix America and they want to bring it back to what it's rightfully was supposed to be, the original Black Americans and the quote unquote heritage Americans, if they really wanted to get back to that, they have to repair. They have to enrich us in order to make this country survive. If not, everything goes up. That's just that. So money, protections, statuses, all that encompasses in the repair of us, and we won't have to. We shouldn't sugarcoat our words and our intentions because that's the shit. That's how we end up getting the okie doke several times because we will say this and then we'll say, oh well, we just do this and play poker. They'll acquiesce and come to us, but we end up realizing we the ones that get fucked over. It ain't happening no more. We throwing the table away. It's either you sink or swim, and we willing to let this place sink because it is what it is.
The crux of the whole reparation argument is the labor that we put in that was uncompensated. That's why it needs to start with cash first.
Can I also say this?
Ask a question.
Yeah, I wanted you to
Yes,
make
but
a
first,
statement.
before you
I,
answer that, Wani,
Mm-hmm.
how are you doing?
Oh,
yes.
hey, Fresh
Hey,
was trying to jump
How
in,
you
but I
doing,
think
Wani?
Fresh, you muffled,
she's
Fresh.
muffled. Yeah, she's
Yeah, you
muffled.
muffled,
I
Fresh.
heard that, Wani. You
What?
you said he. She said he's muffled.
I couldn't hear anything. It just sounded muffled.
Yeah, sorry, my hand was. I did notice I was muffled. I'm sorry. I was
Okay.
trying to because I just wanted to make this statement about beliefs is not really doesn't even matter about why we are owed. It's not about a belief, what you believe we should have, and all this stuff. And reparations have been defined by international law. So if it doesn't meet the criteria of reparations, it's not reparations. Even what's going on locally in certain states, that is not full repair. It's just um, it's just a local initiative, but reparations has already been defined and it must meet the criteria. Okay, Wani. Thank you.
Jay was gonna go.
Hey, Jay, go ahead.
Jay.
I was just saying first and foremost, say how you doing, Wani? You don't ask questions. We want to say hi to
Hey.
you first. That's it.
Hi.
So I think he just wanted to say hi.
Oh, okay.
Just
So,
saying hi.
why?
You let out the
Hi.
attention. I wanted to greet you. That's it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody on the stage.
Hey, Wani.
I
All right,
just wanted
Wani.
to know why Israelite did not feel that we should pursue reparations when, because I missed part of the conversation, but what makes us different than Japanese people and each and every Native American tribe, which presently uh, pursues reparations and reparative justice for themselves? What makes us different than these other harmed groups?
Monty, I do not think we. I didn't. Okay, I don't believe that we should not seek reparations. I believe that sticking with delineation, if we stand on business with delineation, they're going to have to redefine what American is, right? And what it is to be an American. This is what's I know for sure this is what's got to happen. They're already having these discussions. So as long as we stand on, on our lineage right now, we have a claim that's absolutely undeniable, and absolutely we are due reparations. What I feel like what we should be doing with this delineation movement is pursuing something that the whole world will stand behind automatically without even bringing up reparations. First, we should make sure that we are classified as a protected people. I think that should come.
We've already done that. That's what we're doing with Freedmen Nation.
Right, and that's all I just feel like that's what we need to stand on, and the world will stand behind that, and then we pursue reparations, because once we're delineated, it's a wrap.
Well,
That's what I just feel like.
I just want
Process.
people to know we're pursuing private reparations through Freedmen Nation. We're pursuing state, city, and federal reparations. So we're leaving no stone unturned. We're also requesting reparations directly from companies that built their wealth off of us, and even going so far as to contact families that became wealthy as a result of slave labor. So we're pursuing everything, including we've gotten a lot of land back, heirs property and things like that. So we're doing a lot of these things through Freedmen Nation. I just want people to know that. I do believe we need to be a protected status, and also go one step further, which is what we're doing, establishing ourselves as indigenous peoples, which we are. Our ethnicity was created here, and we have the bloodlines from two separate indigenous groups. So, yeah, we're pursuing this on all fronts. I just want people to know that.
Yes, I love that. I, I love supporting the Freeman Nation organization. Or is it you? Do you refer to it as an org, Wani? It's more like it's a
Trust.
trust. Yeah.
We'll just say trust. But it's a lot of things, and we're in alignment with the government, but not overseen. But we are in line in terms of our procedures and our quest for different statuses. So we're not going to back down off of this at all. We're going full steam ahead.
You guys already have been. They have already shown us, given us examples of what they can do, and I've already seen your way.
Hear you again.
Oh my God, I keep muffling. I'm multitasking, so I put the phone down and I'm in bed at the same time. So, yeah, I'm saying you guys already have a lot of wins, even though they're small wins, but they're meaningful and impactful. And I'm thrilled. I've always supported Freeman Nation. I'm Freeman lineage. So, yeah,
We're
that's.
getting a lot of these Pan Africans out of the paint when they raise money under our name, and then we can see that their ideology is for everybody. We can get them taken down as fraud, because that's what they are. I don't know how Pan Africanists have survived, because they basically have gotten caught once again conspiring with the Russian government.
No,
Remember in 2024, every generation since Marcus Garvey, they've been caught defrauding Black Americans, and they continue to rise up like some type of vampire. We keep driving stakes through them, and they keep getting caught working with the CIA, foreign governments, conspiracy. They were convicted of conspiracy, literally,
I
as
know.
agents of the Russian government. And somehow they still stay afloat within our community. We're not paying attention. These
We're
people
not
are
paying
doing
attention.
conspiracies right in front of our face.
Mm-hmm.
Africans repeatedly working with Russian governments as well, and being exposed as quote unquote troll farms. But it's more than that. It's more than just trolling us online.
Agree. And I was following along with that Yeshua organization, that Pan African
What is
organization.
it called? Uru?
Arushu
Urugu?
is
I can't
something like
pronounce
that.
it. No,
So yeah, Wadi, I know exactly what you mean. That's the prime example. And then they were convicted. So
convicted of conspiracy, of
exactly.
conspiring as foreign agents for Russia.
You cannot deny it. It's too much evidence. Then the troll farm is too much evidence. You know what? Do you feel like they are partly or wholly anarchist
I don't
groups?
know, but I cannot understand how they keep getting caught like this and then coming into our rooms and saying that we're the spy, we're the agents
I know,
because
right?
we're saying our lineage and they're declaring us the agents. I mean, they've got a grip on AI. Like if I Google the name of that organization right now, that movement, it doesn't even mention they're convicted. You have to dig. It doesn't say, oh, this place is convicted. That's why Marcus Garvey keeps popping up. And it's like, wait a minute. Didn't they drive a stake through this guy? Didn't our people say Garvey must go and have a whole
Not highlighted.
campaign?
Mm-hmm.
Who is doing this? Pan Africanists. They're in our schools. They're all over the place, spreading their lies and their ideology, which is outdated and proven incorrect. And that's the point. Genealogy disproves what they're saying. Our DNA profiles disprove everything they said. All of these groups were operating without any kind of genetic research, no genealogy, just what they wanted to say. Having all of us be one group, that's not even factual. It's not factual in Africa, and it's certainly not factual in America. So, I don't know. I don't know how many times you need to see these people conspiring with foreign agents. Now, if it was just about getting all the African people together, yada, 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 why are Russians involved? Why is the CIA involved all the time? Oh, can we say that word?
Not sure, but I don't. Yeah.
Okay, fat and hold on, natural sweetness. Oh, all right, we'll go to fat first. She been up here for a while. Where you from? What's your ethnicity?
I'm from Florida. I am Black American, no immigrant background.
You sure?
Yeah, I've been on your panel or many panels.
Times. Yes, I recall.
Oh, okay. All right. What's your thoughts on the prompt?
I was only responding, I'm sorry, to Life One's Good because he's citing spells, basically trying to say we will never reach the Supreme Court. It's disturbing when you hear there's people who are purposely trying to hinder or stop what we're trying to put forth that's good faith for our people, and that kind of angers me. So I do apologize for coming across aggressive on in the notes, but people like that really
So who you
incite me.
speaking about?
Life One's Good.
Oh, okay. Let me go ahead and mute him.
But
All right,
Wadi, I
so
want to say
he
I
out of here.
thank you for everything that you've been doing. I listened to you, to learn so much, and to find out that there are actions going forward. I have seen the American Freedmen Legal pages, and I've been
Mm-hmm.
considering sending my information so that I can be documented as well. So thank you for everything that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
And that was it. I'm gonna leave.
Okay. Let me see. Natural sweetness. Are you available to speak? All right, y'all. The panel open. She been up here for a while, hasn't said anything, so I just dropped it.
That was best. Hello. Can
Yes.
everybody hear each other?
Yeah, we
I
still
think
here.
Yes.
it's real light was
You were discussing something with Wani prior.
Well, no, I apologize if I came across as like think that where it made it seem like I'm against reparations because I'm 100% for reparations. I just believe with, like I said, and I know it's not about belief. My thoughts though are in regards to the delineation movement is that like this should come with like making us a protected people, and that's all it is for me. And
Yeah.
then I feel like because I'm a business person, and all I really want to do is get these businesses running, and I got a lot that I feel like once it's unobstructed and it comes to light how powerful we are. We don't got to worry about it because I feel like I got it. I feel like I'm gonna make sure that I create businesses for everybody, for our people. Like unobstruction, just knowing that there is gonna be no one actively pursuing our downfall, it'll be a wrap. And one thing that the gentleman said earlier about us becoming an economic power, that's happening very soon. So within our lifetime, you know, we will be our own like economic power within like so to be like the United States as a whole, then it'll be like China, and then it'll be like our people, the third strongest economic power in the world within, I want to say before, within the next 4 years is my guess. That's how much we're progressing.
I remember when we first started this, a lot of people were resistant and they did not feel worthy to get reparations. And that's really based on the fact that they didn't understand our history or the harm. A lot of people have reacted that way, but I think we're coming around because the knee jerk reaction was we're not going to get it because they're viewing the request for reparations as us asking some poor person in a trailer. We're not asking a poor person in a trailer who's hostile toward Black Americans for repair. We're asking the government, and we're also being derailed in our thoughts because European descendants on the timeline say the same thing. I'm not paying for. I never had slaves. We're not talking about who had slaves or the Africans sold the slave. We're not talking about that. We know that. We're not talking about whether a person of African descent came over to the United States of America, which I'm learning that some did. Some people from Africa came over to the United States of America and sold slaves on this side. One of them is Fenda Lawrence, and there's another man. He had a whole lot of slaves, and he's classified as a Black American who had slaves. This guy was from Africa, and he was selling slaves over here, which makes perfect sense from a business standpoint that some people would be here doing it. We're not talking about whether a random Black guy or a random African sold human beings. That's not the argument. The argument was that the United States allowed this behavior to happen. This is on the United States of America. And people on both sides don't even understand what we're talking about. European descendants don't understand it. Neither do a lot of Black Americans. They don't understand the harm. And then we have people running around saying slavery didn't exist. I wonder what those people are about. Or my people weren't enslaved. Well, that's good. I have family lines that weren't enslaved as well. They were free people of color, but I also have two family lines that I know of that were enslaved. I don't know why that's also an argument that these people weren't enslaved. I think that a lot of people are ashamed of being enslaved and do not wear it as a badge of honor like I do. Something that my family rose out of, they see it as a scar or a stigma attached to it, and I get that too. Because the first time I heard the word descendants of slaves, I said I'm not going to call myself that. That's demeaning to me, even though they might have the right belief about that being a protected group that should be repaired. I had a knee jerk reaction that I didn't like the name. So I understand all of the responses by everybody, and I understand why those responses exist.
Also, it's a defeatist mindset too, like a
Yes.
paternalistic nature where they're basing what's going to happen based off how others feel or think. because at the end of the day, we're still Americans. We still have rights. We still entitled to whatever we do in this country, unlike anybody else. If immigrants can come here and usurp you and do the same shit, what the fuck is stopping them from us? They're visitors here. So we really have the ability to